And we on. Mic check, mic check. Ain't nobody in the building. Even let me know if the mic working good, but we on. What's happening, fam? Hope everything running right. I ain't gonna mess up my audio. Turn my phone on. But we back with another one. The link is in the chat if anybody want to jump on. They gonna be here long, probably about an hour, depending on how the conversation go, man. Maybe less. But this weekend was pretty good. Um, Frank Martin didn't have his best outing, but I thought it was a good fight. Um, oh boy, I forgot his name. I can't recall his name right now, but his opponent was a Olympian, a bronze medalist. I believe he was from Germany, if I'm mistaken. But he was an accomplished fighter. He was up in there with a accomplished fighter, and it took him some time to figure it out. But he figured it out though. He figured it out. Got the knockdown. Bust old boy eyes shut. It was a pretty good fight. I really ain't take nothing from it that will change my mind about Frank Martin. I think he's a good fighter. I think if he get up in there with Shakira, he's gonna have a lot to deal with on his hands. He's gonna have to figure out a lot of stuff early. He definitely ain't gonna be able to figure out nothing late because Shakira would definitely dominate those rounds while he's sitting there trying to figure out something similar to my breakdown with Crawford. Crawford is definitely not going to be able to sit there and be a late starter. I'm gonna look for him to come out and match energy. Because if he sit there and let Spence walking down, cut off the ring and get off all that work with that active, with all them punches he throw, as active as he is, I think that'll be a lot of trouble, a lot of punishment. But Frank Martin, man, he definitely ain't gonna be able to do that. Salute, bro. Joseph Brown in the building. Judge Joe Brown. Hey, if you can, the link is in the chat. Jump on, chop it up. I was just talking about. I started off talking about Frank Martin and his fight. I thought he was in a good fight. He was in there with a worthy opponent. Um, I think Trey X probably would have old boy at like a 4 or something, or maybe even higher, being the bronze medalist. I don't know what Frank Martin is, probably a 3.5, but I thought old boy gave Frank Martin a run for his money, man. He figured it out just in time though to pull out the victory. He shut old boy eyes shut. He was able to have some success. He didn't get the stoppage or nothing like that, but he was in there with a worthy opponent. That probably gave him some experience, man. Most definitely probably gave him some experience. I thought that was a pretty good fight for Frank Martin. And then I made my point. I used that point on about the late start with Crawford. I said Crawford, I'm gonna look for him to match Spence energy. Definitely not come in there and start late or start collecting data. You know what I'm saying? And let his opponent win them early rounds because that can cost him. That's gonna be in my breakdown though. But Brown in the building, salute, bro.
What's going on, Marlo?
Shit, just chilling, man. Come to chop it up with the fam. What you think about the Frank Martin fight? You get a chance to watch it?
Yeah, I watched it. Hey, it's just like kind of talked about the opponent, man. A lot of folks didn't know the opponent. Um, a lot of so-called boxing heads didn't know the opponent. A lot of fans didn't know the opponent. They didn't pay much attention to the fight as far as the lead up for it. They just thought it was going to be, a walkover. They didn't think much of. They just thought Frank Martin was going to steamroll this guy, but you know, we got a guy in Trey X who had the vast knowledge on the opponent, and a lot of us started to study this guy's background, his amateur background, and these things are key. And um, that's one thing I challenge a lot of boxing fans, man, because a lot of these mishaps and understands wouldn't happen, and a lot of overestimation of a fight as far as the results wouldn't happen if fans would actually do their research on a lot of these fighters. Uh, you wouldn't have all this exaggeration of why a guy performed the way he performed. You would know that the opponent in front of him is a quality opponent, and this is why it's bringing that type of fight out of this fight. So, but yeah, I watched the fight. Um, I saw how tentative AA was making him early on. He was cracking the defense by throwing wide shots, trying to attack the guard. He was stepping in and out. His in and out game was allowing him to be able to disrupt Frank Martin's timing. He couldn't establish the kind of rhythm he wanted. Um, it slowed down his ability to be able to counter punch. He was looking to counter instead of him coming forward and trying to take the attack to AA, which he finally did, which I'm glad he did when he started to listen to Derek James in the corner. And shout out to Derek James for giving the right advice in the corner to make that adjustment. And once he started taking the fight to him, he started to have better results. He started to find a home for that straight left hand to the body. That was the punch that really started to break down and hurt AA. And he was able to catch with sneaky left right hooks to the head, bring it upstairs. Um, and I just overall thought that Frank Martin won the fight. I mean, just look at the last three rounds, the championship rounds, and that's what you want to see out of a fighter in the championship rounds. They come on strong and they finish the fight in the fashion that you want to see them finish the fight, which is strong, and he did that. And AA, even though he put up a good performance, he didn't look like the winner. I mean, if you look at how the fight ended, he did not look like a guy who deserved it on in that fight. So shout out to Frank Martin. Amateur background does matter, like Trey X always says, and he's going to be served well having a fight like that.
Yeah. Salute, bro. What's good, Trey? Shout out to Haplo. Salute. J1 Pro in the building. King of King. Appreciate that membership. Bill Rock in the building. Rod X the champ. What up, my people? Salute. What's good? What's good, bro?
Hey, I'm over my mom house and shit right now. So if y'all hear some background noise, I apologize. But salute to all the players across the earth and the entire universe. Back up in this bitch, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, can't wait for the 29th and all that shit. Came to talk a little bit of boxing. Been MIA a little bit, but we back in the building tonight. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I enjoyed that Frank Martin fight, man. A lot of people got negative shit to say about it. Talking about it was a robbery and all that kind of shit, man. That was a real close fight. Old boy Artem Haratunian came to fight like I thought he would. Olympic bronze medalist and all that kind of shit. I watched the fight with Joseph Brown and Hyphy and shit. We enjoyed that fight, man. That was a good fight, like a step up type fight for Frank Martin, and plus it was a nice developmental fight. He had somebody that was bringing that pressure to him, a person that was a slightly bigger man, little bit of head movement and shit like that, was able to set up his own offense. And Frank Martin had to fight through that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like when he stepped up and he started fighting these better guys, like a Shakur Stevenson or a fucking Devin Haney or something like that, them folks ain't gonna come lay down. So it's good for a motherfucker to go out there and have some tough tests and shit, get battle tested. That's really what it is. You know what I'm saying? And that was an example of him getting battle tested. His coach felt like he was down coming down the stretch, and he went out there and finished the fight strong. Showed some dog off in there for real. Went out there and snatched in my eye socket too, from what I heard. I think I saw this shit on Boxing Scene or something like that. I might be wrong. I saw this shit somewhere on the internet though. You know what I'm saying? So salute to Frank Martin, man. He was going to the body. He hurt Haratunian a few times in the fight. And we ain't gonna take credit away from Haratunian, man. I think he opened up some eyes this past Saturday. A lot of people didn't know who he was coming into the fight, but shit, he went out there and showed something. He made a fan out of me. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's gonna be an easy out for damn near anybody. Like we said, 4.5 on the scale, Olympic bronze medalist. He was coming off a long layoff. The man was coming off like a 13-month layoff. Imagine how he'll look if he go out there and he fresh and he been having tune-up fights and shit like that. He might look even better. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, salute to both fighters. That was a great fight. We had an outstanding time watching this shit.
Yeah, hell yeah. La D in the building. Salute, sis. Charles D. Salute. What's happening? Yeah, I thought it was a good fight too, bro. Like a lot of motherfuckers. That's why I don't like paying attention to this shit. A lot of motherfuckers hear his accomplishments because they did say it on TV. You know what I'm saying? That he was a bronze medalist, Olympian bronze medalist. And the motherfucker hear that shit and that shit go in one ear and out the other. But
Hey, I had a dude that was talking about he was a no name and shit in one of the comment sections. I said he was a no name because you didn't do your homework. I said get off your ass and do your homework. And then he came back talking about, oh man, I know he was an Olympic bronze medalist and that shit don't mean nothing and all that kind of stuff. You already know what my default response is. Hey, I got a partner on Facebook. They got a prediction league named Champ Ross. We just started season 17. Why don't you get your ass in the league and put them theories you got to the test? I don't like to spit box with a nigga and go back and forth with just arguments and debates and shit. Let's get them numbers on the board and let's see where you stand with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Of course, he ain't responded back to me.
hey, speaking of that shit, you see how we all hit 120, what was it, 125 or 127 or something like that?
Yeah, I went out there and fucked around on a few picks and shit, man. Especially that last pick. I think it was that Picasso pick. The guy that was 24-0, he had 13 knockouts. I took that shit by decision, like a dumbass. I should have took that shit by knockout. I cost myself at least 5 points. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was a cool little start to the season. It's a long season, so you already know how that go.
Hell yeah, the highest was what, 150 or some shit like that?
Shit, that motherfucker picked 100%. I mean, the highest was 150 and a bonus. We only had 15 fights, so that means the motherfucker got Benjamin on everything. And
Right.
as a matter of fact, second place was 152, so that means that they got 145 in a bonus, and third place was 150. That means that they picked 100% like straight Benjamins all the way through. I said, man, if these motherfuckers gonna be picking like that this season, shit, I might not have a chance. These niggas picking 100%. Good shit though, square business. Salute to my boy Napoleon Armstrong for having a great start, and salute to OG Ernest Davis because he went up in there and got him a smooth, I think 147 or some shit like that. He was in the mix. And also Eric R. Marquez went out there and got 2 bonuses week 1. You know what I'm saying? So salute to all the people that went out there and started the season off strong.
Facts. Salute to him. Eric R., Napoleon Armstrong, Ernest Davis. Salute. Dr. Sophie in the building. Salute, fam. What's happening? I was gonna
Salute to
say,
everybody.
oh, D-Lo in the building. Salute, bro. You Hypey in the building. Salute, bro. D-Lo, get your ass up here, man. You said something in the comments that didn't even really have nothing to do with it, but your reply was kind of crazy, man. And it's biased. Get your ass up here, D-Lo. if you can, if you can. But yeah, that shit was crazy, man. That was a good start for the first week. Ain't got a lot of ground to cover. You know what I'm saying? Hit this week, you be up there in the top 3, in the top 10 at least.
Yeah, we got a few tough fights though, man. Like that goddamn Inoue versus Cool Boy Steph shit. I don't care what nobody say. That's a tough fight to pick.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta look at the politics too, because the motherfucker that's promoting the fight, that's Inoue. I done seen that he done promoted other fights for Inoue, that Ohashi motherfucker, whoever that shit is. You know, that made me think that if it's close rounds, them hoes gonna go to Inoue. They already fighting in Japan. The only saving grace is that it's gonna be nationally televised. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's gonna be on ESPN Plus, some shit that people got access to watch. The robberies kind of go down in those type of situations, you know what I'm saying? But outside of that, I see a lot of advantages for Inoue. So we'll see.
That's what you thinking about, riding, picking the newest.
Man, I've been talking shit about Cool Boy stuff all this time, man. I think I'm gonna have to just lock in with Cool Boy, man. The only reason I wouldn't pick him is for the politics, I swear. But man, I done already seen what beats Inoue. I done seen the man get outboxed before. A lot of people ain't seen it, but I have. And I know that this dude and came up for what 105, 106, some shit like that. And he about to go up here and fight this motherfucker in his first fight at 122. Somebody that started at 122 and he gonna be moving up to 126 and all that kind of shit. It might be a situation that's similar to Devin Haney versus Lomachenko. You know what I'm saying? I just think this dude, cool boy Steph, he's skilled. He representing Philadelphia. Like, come on, man. That's the home of Larry Temple, Bernard Hopkins, and goddamn me, Gil Turner, and all. Man, hey, you know what kind of history that Philadelphia got? That's what he got on his back right now. I mean, goddamn, man, skills pay the bills, man. I know Inoue a pretty good fighter. A lot of people looking at him like he's some kind of cyborg or something. Shit, I don't think he's a goddamn cyborg. I think he's a man. That's what I think he is. And he might have some trouble on his hands come next week fucking around with Cool Boy, square business.
Hey, that's a fact too. I'm riding with Cool Boy regardless. I know he over there foreign man, anything possible. Shit, anything can happen for him. Fucking with his food, fucking with his water, the judges. But that's just one of those motherfucking things that we gonna have to just eat. Cause that nigga, he wanted to go over there, and them all the circumstances he gonna have to deal with, man. Racism, you know what I'm saying, all kind of shit.
They've been saying that they've been treating them good over there. They said the people been treating them good. They've been saying that the promotion been treating them well. Uh, so ain't none of that stuff happening. And you would go over there too. This is probably one of the highest paid fights you're gonna get in that division. So you'll definitely take that chance with the payouts they get.
Yeah, that's why I said I'm riding with him regardless. I don't blame him. Motherfucker want to be great, man, and some of the things you're gonna have to do to be great. You're gonna have to take a smaller cut too. There's a lot of things you're gonna have to do. You might have to give somebody more than what they're asking for. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things that you might have to sacrifice if you really want to be great. Hey, D-Lo. Salute, bro. What's happening?
What's good? The audio all right?
It's low.
How
Can
about
y'all
now?
hear him, fine?
Say
Low.
something, D-Lo. Mic check,
It's,
D-Lo.
Yeah, mic check. Y'all hear me
Yeah,
all
you
right?
do. Yeah, you do sound low. How do we sound out there to y'all in the chat, man? How D-Lo sound? He
uh,
sound low on our end.
D-Lo sound like he in the secret room and the principal told him he can't talk right now.
Yeah. Or like he at work or something, sneaking to get on the live stream.
Hey, how about now?
Miss Lex say you sound good. What's up, Miss
How about
Lex?
how about now? That better?
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead. Do your thing.
Okay, yeah, it was set on the wrong mic. All right. Yeah, what's going on? What y'all chopping it up on? Somebody just dropped off, didn't it?
Might have been Marlo.
Man.
Oh
God,
shit.
what the
I thought
world?
that was your ass that dropped out Joseph Brown and Wood Marlowe.
Yeah, he back. Marlo, you good?
Mic check. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
I hear you.
Oh yeah. It was something with my Wi-Fi. That shit kicked me and then put me back.
God dog, man. Don't start falling off when I jump in here like I'm a virus or something.
Oh no. Hey, D-Lo.
I done came in and knocked you off. What's
That's
good?
what your boy Crawford don't download. He gonna download the virus after this.
Hey, Crawford is the virus.
Hey, D-Lo. I had put that video of you commented and you said that it wasn't like Bob the one who had a list of fighters.
Look at here. This man, I said this a week ago. This man got my phone number and know how to hit me all different kind of ways. He gonna get on here and want to try to go to war about with some Bob said on the live stream. God dang it!
We don't never go to war.
Everybody wanted with me this week. Let's get it in. What you got?
Hey, but I just saw the message. You know I'll be late, man.
You saw that message that when I said it. Cause you hearted it and everything.
You know I'll be late though. I'm talking about
you probably was on your gas pump. You probably was on your gas pump then read it.
But look, I just wanted to say you said it wasn't like Bob had a list of fighters. But this list of fighters was already there before this motherfucker Bud moved to 147. So how you using that same excuse that Bob used?
That ain't no excuse. What I said was, you said is a parent that Bob was the problem, this, that, and the other. I said Bob ain't the one that came out with the list of fighters that Spence had to fight before he could fight Crawford. And I said, yeah, Bob is the problem. Bob ain't the only problem. I said Bob, PBC, the rest of the suits, they all the problem. It ain't just Bob.
It's a video out. I should have just put it out as a short, but it's a video out a long time ago. Hold on.
Why he taking
Bradley already laying the law down and letting it be known that Top Rank don't do business with Al Heyman.
But we know Top Rank and Al Heyman do business though.
Look, this is before.
It's evident of that.
Listen, this is before the Fury. This is before any of that.
Go ahead.
Well, I was saying this is when Bradley was Spence's motherfucking mandatory, and this was the excuse that Bradley used way before it was any business going on with Al Heyman and Top Rank. But my thing was the business that did go on. What was, you don't look at that as an undercut? He hurried up and went and paid Fury, overpaid Fury just to get into that fight. He wanted to piece of the big fight.
He jumped in an already made fight he jumped in what he thought was already lucrative business. I mean, it was a smart business move. I didn't like it because I felt like he made it harder for them to do business together. It was smart for him, but I feel like the whole thing with the second fight, the third fight, struggling to get off the ground, it was all because he got involved in it. You know what I'm saying? If he hadn't got involved in it, and I feel like that third fight would have happened pretty quickly. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, Bob he'll get in some mess and make it worse than what it is and mess up stuff and put his foot in his mouth and say all kind of outlandish stuff. My thing ain't about Bob not being Bob and not being true to what we already know he is. My thing is Bob ain't the only one out here playing dirty pool. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the truth of it. I mean, ain't nobody exempt from criticism when it comes to how this sport of boxing been being ran. You know, now we finally got a year where it seems like people been, now they're eager to try to put the fights together. But you know what I'm saying? It's like some of these fights we've been begging for unnecessarily, shouldn't have had to beg for. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it ain't just one side. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of fights could have been being made. But now all of a sudden it seems like, things are starting to shape up. So I'm happy about it. But I'm not gonna act like it was just one side or one entity that was holding up everything. I mean, the Spence Crawford stuff I've been saying for years. It was the suits. I didn't say the suit. I didn't say Bob. I said on both sides. When Crawford broke away from Spence, was the first thing. Broke away from Aaron was the first thing we heard. PBC come marching out of Tim Smith. To come out there put negative spin on the fight. Basically came out disrespected both of them boys and disrespected us as fans, saying we ain't gonna buy the fight. You know what I'm saying? So you can't put that on Bob. Bob didn't have nothing to do with it. Bob been bigging up the fight, even with him not being involved in it, saying it was a big fight.
I'm Brown, salute, sis.
What's up to my Amazon Angel? Y'all know I got to say what's up to my Amazon Angel now. What's up with it?
Salute, Armor Brown.
Look, D-Lo, you I couldn't even get through with my point though. But my point is though, like I'm pointing out the obvious, and you making up excuses. I don't understand how come it's everybody. Okay, if a motherfucker tell me he ain't doing business with me and try to hate on everything I do, and if I refuse to do business with him, I'm involved with the fuckery somehow.
That's an excuse, Marlo.
We
don't see no folk do business,
bro. Let me finish. I sit there and listen to you the whole time.
I'm on mute. Let me know when you're done.
I didn't jump in and cut you off for nothing. But look, what I'm saying is, this motherfucker been shitty the whole time, throwing slights, not letting his fighters, and I'm talking about motherfucking Bradley. I'm talking about when he had Pacquiao, not letting his fighters fuck with anything that had to do with Al Heyman. And it's obvious, my nigga. It wasn't saying Al Heyman didn't say, or none of them said I wasn't doing business with Top Rank. Every time it was a fight that they had on the line, which was Pacquiao and versus Mayweather, it was some fuckery going on. Mayweather had to go talk to this man himself at a basketball game. And a motherfucker supposed to say, oh, just because these motherfuckers want me to tuck my tail and go talk to this scandalous motherfucker who been hating on me since I came in the game, I'm supposed to do it You know what I'm saying? And still have my pride or my dignity. That don't make sense, bro. Every time you listen to an interview, these motherfuckers are saying something bad, nigga. It's been bad. We don't Top Rank don't do business with these motherfuckers. But soon as PBC started to get these big ass fights, you see Top Rank swooping on in to grab motherfucking Tyson Fury. Swooping on in. Well, he tried, but Bob said fuck him. You can see the frustration on after these fights that Bud was having, asking Bob to make these fights happen. And Bob kept on acting like it was all Spence. Blame it on Spence. Blame it on Spence. But soon as he left, blame it on Pacquiao too. And blamed it on Al. But I'm talking about the fighters anyway. I'm fuck Al now. But soon as he left Bob, the fight happened. It wasn't no 3-4 year wait or nothing like that. These motherfuckers got on the phone and made the fight happen. However it happened. If motherfucker gave the guy what the fuck he wanted just to make the fight, it happened is my thing. And it happened without this motherfucker. So how I wouldn't look at that like this motherfucker is the problem. It's all hate. And Timothy Bradley already said it years ago. He said it out of his mouth that they don't do business without him until something like that happens. Go ahead, I'm done.
Okay, so I'm gonna address the Timothy Bradley thing first of all. You keep bringing it up. Bradley said what he said pretty much at the twilight of his career. If he said it at that time, because to be honest, from what I understand, he was being interviewed after his retirement and asked why did he fight Errol Spence, and that was his excuse. The man ain't gonna come out and say, "Man, I was on the way out. I didn't want to fight that young hungry lion." I mean, which to me, that's the truth. He had a Pacquiao fight on the table for that third Pacquiao fight. He took that fight instead of the Spence fight. That made more sense. Anybody would have done the same thing, but I don't think he would. I think if he didn't have another fight on the table, just being straight up, I think he would have found something else to do. I think he'd have fought anybody other than somebody like Errol Spence Jr. at that point in his career. That's just like Floyd not fighting Keith Thurman and all that. I mean, it's those guys in the same age range. So that wasn't my expectation, but that's kind of like water under the bridge. That's what he said. But even if we say, okay, Bradley said PBC and Top Rank don't do business, that's an out and out lie. If you look at what's happened since he said that, or even around that same time, they were fighting. Even Terrence Crawford was fighting PBC fighter back then. He fought JoJo. Not Joe. What's his name? JoJo. I forgot his last. Joseph Molina Jr. He fought Diaz, was a PBC fighter. All right, you go to the welterweight division around the same time when, if you say that's a valid excuse for why him and Spence didn't fight, if you say Bob was in the way, Bob made offers to the boy Danny Garcia.
I didn't say that was no valid excuse.
Okay,
I said that he basically was telling it how it was.
Who was telling it how it was?
He was basically saying, since when do PBC, or when do Top Rank and Al Heyman, he didn't say nothing about PBC, do business.
Okay, Al Heyman is PBC. So we go to Bob Arum sent an offer to Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia wasn't able to take the offer. All right. He also sent an offer to Amir Khan, a better offer after Danny Garcia didn't take the fight, and Amir Khan took the fight. Amir Khan is a PBC fighter, advised by Al Heyman.
Yeah, but he ain't no PBC fighter. That motherfucker.
No, he's a PBC fighter.
He with that motherfucker. What's that motherfucker name?
Al Heyman.
No, he ain't, man. That's his advisor. Everybody that Al Heyman advises not with PBC, man.
He was with PBC. Al Heyman helped put the deal together. My whole point is they fight. They pick and choose when they want to fight, who they'll send. Both sides, not just PBC. They all do it. They pick and choose who they want to send across the street. You hear Matchroom say, we don't make fights with these people, we don't make fights with those people, but then you'll see certain people fighting over there on their network. Then you'll see other people go fight from Matchroom on somebody else's network. You know what I'm saying? It's all about what they willing to do, who they willing to put out there as okay, I'll sacrifice this guy, but I'm not sacrificing that guy. My whole thing, what I was saying in that message, which I know things get taken out of context when you typing versus when you talking. What I was saying was, and me and you done talked about this before right here on this show, Errol Spence Jr., which I agree with you. Errol Spence Jr., you started saying it earlier. he was given a list of fighters to fight by his side. Terrence Crawford, rightfully so, for whatever reason, was not in the list of fighters that Errol Spence wanted to fight. He told Terrence Crawford this to his face. I'm on record as saying Terrence Crawford can't say Errol Spence ducking. If Errol Spence told him to his face, they got Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, Mikey Garcia, Keith Thurman. Those were the names because Eugenio Ugas went in the mix at the time. They might even say Pacquiao. Yeah. He told Crawford that to his face.
Oh, I guarantee everything I'm saying right now is going to be on video. I'm gonna put the whole rundown.
Okay, well, I mean, you could chop and mix anything up. You could, if you want to, you could take what I'm saying right now, and if you snip it just right, you can have me saying exactly what you want to say.
That's not what I do, D-Lo.
I'm just telling you.
Hell no, man. I don't even want. You can't do me like that, my nigga. I don't do no shit like that. I don't take nobody.
We taking clips and trying to make it say something.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. You using their own fucking words, man. What the hell?
That's what I'm trying to do.
Well, why would I do that? Why would I do that? Why would I want to make somebody say something that they didn't say though?
We do that all. I mean, that's pretty much like satire in this community. You take something and do it. It may be as a joke, and you have a dude saying this and saying that. And I mean,
man, grab a video. Go find a video on my channel I ever played like that, bro, or I ever even tried to play like that, bro. Like I don't even know where this coming from. I'm not like everybody else in this community.
Okay, my apologies. Can I finish what I was saying? You there?
Yeah, I just went on mute.
Okay, so what I was saying was you and I both don't agree. Errol Spence Jr. told Terrence Crawford to his face, I got Danny Garcia, and the order ain't correct. I'm just trying to remember it. Danny Garcia, Sean Porter. I'm gonna go knock out Sean Porter. Danny Garcia, Mikey Garcia, Keith Thurman, and I want to say he said Pacquiao. Terrence Crawford said so. He didn't say Crawford. He said no. He didn't say Crawford. All right. I said, and I'm on record saying this, and I've stuck to this over the years because that was like in 2018. I've stuck to this over the years. The man said, you're not on the you ain't on the list. We done went back and forth about okay. So he said he ain't on the list. You told me in the past, you said so he's supposed to stop what he doing to fight Crawford. I said no. Crawford agreed that he agreed with what Spence said. When Spence told him I got these other people to fight, Crawford kind of just shrugged it off like, all right, he said you smart, but you ain't that smart. That's what he told him. So my point was what I said in the comment section was that wasn't Bob Arum who came out with his list of fighters and said, this is who you're going to fight. We even seen PBC pushing out Keith Thurman in front of Terrence Crawford. For the better part of a couple of years, Errol Spence Jr. just been refusing to fight the man. My whole thing ain't disagreeing with you about Bob. Bob is a problem. Bob gonna be a problem until he get out of the sport. Bob been a problem. My whole thing is these other people ain't absolved of having any wrongdoing when it comes to these things not coming together in the sport. You know what I'm saying? They have an obligation to the fans as well, and they don't always put their best foot forward because we didn't have to have this fight as undisputed. I'm glad it's undisputed, but we could have had this fight years ago. But that's water under the bridge. My whole thing is
wait. Let me ask you. So you rather had it? You rather had it then and not now?
Yeah, I'd rather had it then. But I mean, I'm good with it now. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a problem with the fight. I'd rather have a fight now than not have a fight. Because at the end of the day, if Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. were the two best welterweights, it don't matter when they fight. If they'd have fought right then, they still would have ended up being the top two because they still would have beat everything else out there if they really were the top two guys. You know what I'm saying? But
I'd rather had it now because then it would have been too many excuses that the man ain't acclimated. He only fought Jeff Horn.
Well, I mean, excuses, if you want to make excuses, they're going to be there anyway. I mean, there's excuse for everybody Terrence Crawford beat. There's excuses for this fight.
It can't be no excuses.
If you want to excuse making business.
Come on, D-Lo. Can you talk to me if you talking to us, bro? Not you talking to these other people.
I'm talking to you.
You keep on. Okay, what excuses do we make? Do I make?
You just brought up excuses. What excuses do I make?
I didn't bring up no excuses.
Yes, you did.
I said
you said if he fought back then, there would have been excuses about the man not making weight. So you talking to me or you talking to other people? You talking about me or you talking about other people?
I was speaking in general.
So why can't I speak in general? Why can't I speak in general, Marlo? When I said it's gonna be excuses now, if for whoever lose, if Crawford lose, the excuse gonna be they aged him out. If Spence lose, you're gonna have if you in the excuse making business, and I'm not talking about you, I'm saying people who make excuses. The excuse gonna be the retina surgery, the wreck, the inactivity, etc. And then I'm sure other stuff I ain't even thought of because people who make excuses make excuses. That's what they do. I've said I don't care how the fight plays. I don't care if Crawford get knocked out in the first round. I'm glad I saw the fight. I'm not gonna make no excuse for why it happened. I'm gonna give Spence his credit. If it happened the other way around, I'm giving Crawford his credit. If the fight's a draw, I'm giving them guys their credit. To me, it ain't about who win the fight. I got a guy I think gonna win. If I'm wrong, I'm gonna eat my crow like I do every other time. That's all it is to it. But my thing is, like I said, when it comes to these promotional outfits and stuff, man, I see it for what it is. The guys who run the sport are the ones who've been robbing the fans of the fights they wanted to see. And it ain't no one guy. It's all of them. I'm not emotionally attached to none of these jokers, man. They all been doing it. That was all I was saying in the comment section, but we had to have a conversation here about it. And I'm standing on what I said. I firmly believe that. I've been saying that for years. This ain't something I just now said. I've been saying that for years. That it's the suit stopping this fight. I said both of these guys want this fight. If Spence had it his way, he'd have fought Crawford like years ago. He didn't have it his way. He had to do what he was advised to do. And then he finally got to a place where he was being told to do something. He about to try to lead a division. He about to miss his mega fight, fooling around with these people telling him who he gonna fight. And he finally just said, no, I'm fighting Terrence Crawford. I ain't fighting nobody. He didn't tell Bob Arum that. He told his people that because they were the ones in the damn way at that point. Bob was out the picture.
Yeah, I don't see why he said what he said in that same video you was referring to, that Bob full of shit. He said that Al don't exist. You know what I'm saying? He got Al number. Like he was basically saying that this motherfucker is not gonna make it happen. And that easier route shit was the reason why he said that. Why would I fight you when I go the easier route? Not saying that, he finna fight a bunch of easier fighters. It's just that them fights is easier to be made. And this fight got made away from Top Rank, away from Bob Arum. Bud had to go and do it on his own. However he did it, it ended up happening because of the fighters, not because of the suits. You know what I'm saying? Or not because of that particular.
You said it right. You said it right. The fighters made the fight happen. Yeah. But it took one fighter getting away from his promoter, and it took another fighter bucking against his to make the fight happen.
Yeah, basically giving him what he wanted. Like they both made the fight happen. So I mean, that's what I was getting at the whole time. Like this is what it took. They both sold the fight when they met up and they made that video that you was referring to. That was right there. That was the starters selling the fight. That made a whole bunch of motherfuckers want to actually see that fight after watching that video. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people that don't even know the roads that both of these particular fighters traveled. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like one Spence wasn't calling for 135 or 140. Bud was down there doing his shit. Becoming whoever was down there, he was becoming undisputed. He ended up becoming undisputed. You didn't hear Earl mentioning his name. Earl already had the plan. Earl took the belt from Brook and said what he said right after that fight and said his goal is to become undisputed. You know what I'm saying? He was gonna try to get undisputed at welterweight. This was when Bud ain't fought Horn yet. The plan was already out there before Bud even came to the welterweight division, though.
If the plan was undisputed, if Bud picked up a title, how is Bud not part of the plan? I mean, and I don't even really want to keep going back and forth about that.
D-Lo, you know who the Pacquiao was the champion at the time, bro.
At what time?
That's why all those names was on the list. Pacquiao was on that list.
At what time? Horn
had at the time. What's the name? Earl had the IBF title, man.
Yeah, but when the old guy met in Oklahoma City, Crawford already had a belt.
Man, after he beat Brook, Pacquiao was the champion. Pacquiao was the WBA champion. And wasn't he the WBO?
Nope.
Yeah, he lost it to Horn.
Right.
He lost that to Horn.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, though. He was a champion at the time. Bud wasn't in that.
Pacquiao was part of the plan because Pacquiao is a cash cow. They ain't got nothing to do with Undisputed. Hey, everybody in the welterweight. I'm just saying all them guys would have fought.
I'm saying he wanted to fight all the champions. This was his words, and Pacquiao was one of them.
Mikey wasn't a champion. Pacquiao wasn't a champion at the time. And it's all right, man. Those guys on his side of the street, it don't matter. I don't care that they won champions.
No,
he was fighting the guys on his side of the street.
You so sure? You said he wasn't, bro. You stating that he wasn't. What year did Horn fight Bud?
Would have been 2018. It would have been right before they met up. 2017, 2018. So that means Pacquiao would have lost his belt before that. Pacquiao didn't pick up another belt till he fought Keith Thurman. Remember, Keith Thurman had the WBC and the WBA. They stripped him of the WBC. Well, he went to recess.
Yeah, it went
to then he got
Garcia and Sean Porter fight.
Right. Then he got to, I think they gave Pacquiao his belt, and then they were fighting for basically the two guys were fighting each other for the belt or something. I can't remember. But Pacquiao became WBA champion when he beat Thurman, or either he defended against Thurman. But at that time, but like I said, man, the Pacquiao ain't. I mean, nobody needs an argument for why they want to fight Pacquiao. That man was the cash cow.
No. See, I'm saying about the list, man. I'm telling you about the list.
Pacquiao belongs on. He was on Crawford. He was on Crawford list too. I'm saying he's the cash cow.
Look, the list at the time was Mikey Garcia. That fight was already said. Mikey already called him out at the time they met up.
Crawford called him out too.
I said the list at the time, bro. Like, I don't even know why the Crawford called him out count though. Like,
how many fights can you fight at a time, Marlo?
You keep saying that when we already both agreed that Bob was the problem. Bud had to leave away from
Bob was the problem, and that list was the problem. And Bob and Crawford went on that list, and that's cool. I get it. You got all these fights. Hey, it's the same thing. When Tim Bradley said what he said about them not fighting PBC fighters at that time. When Tim Bradley was at 147, not necessarily toward the tail end, but at one point, the 147 was top heavy on the top rank side. All Bob did was had in-house fights with Cotto, Margarito, Bradley, Clottey, Pacquiao, Cintron. All those guys fought in-house fights together. Man, and then when PBC got the ball, they did the same thing. I respect it. I didn't like it when Top Rank did it. I don't like it when PBC did it, but I respect it. That's business. My whole thing is it ain't necessarily a just Bob thing, and that's where we're disagreeing at. It ain't just Bob. I'm telling you Bob is a problem, but I'm also not gonna sit here and agree with you for the sake of agreeing that Al Heyman ain't a problem.
I'm not asking you to agree with me, bro. Like, you keep jumping. I got this all on video what I'm saying. And you jumping out like as if I'm making this shit up or something. It's all on video.
I ain't saying you made up anything. I ain't.
Yeah, you keep cutting me off and telling me like if I'm telling you what happened. Like, you keep saying that list is the problem, but that list was already made, man. That list was there. Like, Mikey Garcia at that time when they had that face to face, Mikey Garcia already called him out. After Mikey called him out, he accepted. They met up right there. And then at the end of that conversation, that's when Bud was like, "Shut up! I want to hear this. Who are you supposed to be fighting? Who you got lined up?" And that's when he said Mikey Garcia, and Mikey already called him out. Then he mentioned Thurman and Pacquiao and Sean Porter. Them was the four motherfuckers. And he ended up fighting Danny Garcia. He did fight Mikey. He ended up fighting Danny Garcia, Ugas, and Sean Porter.
Right. Thurman was on the list too. He didn't fight Thurman. Thank goodness. Because if he fought Thurman,
I got this on video too. He said, Thurman, he told Thurman, "I'll fight you when you ready." And Thurman on video telling him, "Yeah, he said he'll fight me when I'm ready. But guess what? I'm not ready."
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? All this shit is like, it's all like digital footprints that you can see where the problem lies. Like, all that in-house fighting, that shit cool if you fighting caliber motherfuckers, right?
It's cool. It's cool because the people
the Tito Trinidad's and the Oscar De La Hoya's and all them fighting each other, them was good caliber fights. Like, but when you got motherfuckers, one side got all the fighters in this division, and the other one only got one fighter, and he holding up the motherfucking what's the name? The blame got to be on one person. So I even took out the bullshit, even saying, oh, just the hate period ain't gonna allow one person to do business with the other person, man. A motherfucker gotta go sneakily do undermine shit to even get in the man business, to even play with the man, like still underminedly playing with the man, knowing that you already said you ain't doing business with me, but you go run around here and get this motherfucker 200-something million just to get involved with this heavyweight fight. And then turn around and blame everything on one side. Like the in-house fights is not a problem as long as there's good competition going on.
It's a problem if you holding up good fights. Even if you making good fights, if there are other good fights to get made and you can't make them, like if we couldn't get Inoue and Fulton, which is a top ranked fighter versus the PBC fighter. Even though in Japan, Top Rank ain't the lead promoter, Inoue is still a top ranked fighter. That fight don't get made if Top Rank's not signing off on it, in my opinion. I could be wrong. So my whole point is, if that excuse was why we couldn't get this fight, I don't think people would be accepting of it. They say, okay, Inoue done moved up to the division, but we can't get that fight. By the way, we got all these other guys on the PBC side that we gonna just let Fulton fight around these guys and Inoue be on the outside looking in. It's a problem, regardless of who's doing it. If you got good opposition on the other side, fights that fans want to see, and you say, no, we just gonna fight our guys, that's a problem. And I don't care who does.
I'm gonna just cut in and say that Inoue has a special kind of deal in terms of, there's a reason why he's fighting most of his fights in Japan is because he doesn't have to share promotional money. If he fights in Japan, he gets to keep more of the money in-house and he gets a better percentage. So that's why he fights. And Top Rank don't really have much of a say on the promotional aspect. When he fights over in Japan, it's only stateside.
That's kind of what I was saying. And I also feel like when it comes to that same situation, you know, him having his primary, and I know the guy's name, but I can't remember the guy that's actually his promoter over there in Japan. Though when you got a situation like that, it's advantageous for him. He's a bigger star over there in Japan. This guy gonna look out for him over there. It is a lot better situation for him fighting a guy that's unlike anybody he's ever faced in his home country, rather than coming over here fighting Cool Boy in Vegas or fighting him in Philadelphia. But my point is, you see, regardless of the circumstances, there were other guys Cool Boy could have fought, but they're actually dealing with another promoter to get a fight done. And that's my thing, is I hate seeing good fights that can be made and then they draw a line in the sand and say, no, that guy's over there, we're going to fight guys over here. And that's what's been going on for years in the sport. And that's what I got an issue with it. Like I said, to me, it doesn't matter who do it. I don't care if it's Top Rank. I don't care if it's PBC. I don't care if it's Matchroom, DAZN. I don't care if it's Golden Boy. Whoever it is, I feel like that's a problem because they're getting in the way of good fights in the sport.
Right. But I just said, you said that's your stance. I just left it alone because you basically just proved my point. Like the majorities of the fighters that you named are Al Heyman advised fighters that are fighting, that are leaving PBC or Showtime to go outside to fight. But it's not the other way around. It's not the other way around. But I digress.
Like I said, there's a problem no matter who does it. I don't care what way around it is. If you see fault in and I see fault in it, it's a problem. It don't matter who does it. The reality is most of these guys don't have enough dates to keep their fighters all active. And it's advantageous for the fighters for them to be allowed to go other places and get fights. Like Danny Jacobs, when he was allowed to go to Matchroom and get all those fights he got when he was still advised by Al Heyman, that was a big win for him, because had he sat where he was at the time, who knows how few fights he would have got, because the stable's just so big. But for him, he's a marquee star. So at the time, you know, on that stable in that division he was in, you know, you would think he's going to continuously get fights, but there were fights that he wouldn't have got if they'd have drew the line in the sand and said, no, you're just going to fight the 160 guys over here. The 160 was heavy on the other side. That's why you had Andre go running over there, because that's where the big fights were. He just didn't get them. So my thing is, I just don't like that.
They was making more money. They was making more money chasing Canelo and going over there. That was the whole thing. He said it out of his own mouth, but he didn't need nobody else to say it. He said it. He said he touching him. So basically, he's saying that if he would have stayed over there, he wouldn't have been touching no M's. He would have been in the 100,000. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the man was already talking like he was making millions with PBC before he went. I mean, because when he was talking about, I think he had the Derevchenko fight at the time. I think both of those guys were PBC fighters at that time, if I'm not mistaken. So but at the same time,
I'm just saying, like,
sure he got bigger money because at the time the zone was giving out that bag.
Yeah, I'm just saying when he said M's, like he meant plural, right? Like he ain't just gonna make no 1 million or you know what I'm saying, 1.5. Like he's saying M's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I took it as he mean in his career, and I think he was saying that Charlo hadn't seen $1 million payday yet. You know, was this whole point of trying to diss Charlo, and that might not have even been true, but that was just their conversation, that banter back and forth. I didn't put a whole lot of weight in it, but like I said, I saw where in that situation, Al Heyman allowed his man to go over there and get those fights that pretty much probably changed his life, as far as wealth and his career trajectory and all of that stuff. And I respect that, and I respect that no matter who does it. I just don't respect when they sit there and draw this line in the sand and say, "No, you're gonna fight these guys." I got nothing but respect for Errol Spence for standing his ground and saying, "Look, I want this dude. I'm not leaving this division without fighting him. I'm not fighting no Keith Thurman. I don't care how many times you pat me on the back, call me, whisper in my ear, whatever you do. I'm fighting the guy that I said I was gonna fight. I want undisputed, and Keith Thurman can wait because when Keith Thurman had his opportunity, he blew it. So I can respect that. You know what I'm saying? And so that's really my position on it. You know what I'm saying? And none of that has to do with anything. That's all in-house stuff. That's all, basically all of that Keith Thurman, Errol Spence Jr. stuff, that's family business. And family sat down and they hashed it out and sorted out the business and said, "Hey, I know he family, but he ain't the right kind of family right now. He in the way. I need to go deal with somebody on the outside because I'm not finna miss my marquee fight fooling around with this dude."
Well, that's how a lot of them look at it. That's basically like if you look at all the time that they was telling Bud, this is after each fight. This is after the fucking Horn fight, after the who he fought out the Horn?
Benavidez.
Yeah, after the Benavidez fight, they kept on asking him about Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? They kept on asking. After the Horn fight, he said he wanted all the champions. He didn't say Errol Spence. He just said he wanted all the champions. After the Benavidez fight, they asked him about Errol Spence, and he said, well, really, it was the boogeyman thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's saying that the boogeyman in the division and this and that and that and this, and he's like, only one motherfucker you talking about, that's Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? Whenever he's ready, I'm ready. Like, they kept asking him about Errol Spence every time. Like, and then after Kell Brook fight, he looked at Bob and was I think it was after what's the name? That was the video you commented on. That was Brook, not Khan. That was Brook fight when he told him. He said that in that full audio, I mean, he said that he could beat Danny Garcia and Errol Spence in the same night. And he said Errol Spence is going to run as long as he can to stay away from Bud, and yada yada. That was after the Kell Brook fight. So this was after he already talked about the plan. After he already told fucking Bob, and because Bob was right there when he told him. You remember that? D-Lo?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, Bob was right there when he told.
And he told Bob. Bob told Spence to his face, the smartest thing you can do is stay away from Terrence Crawford. And Spence told him what he should have said. You're a good promoter, because basically you selling your guy. You know what I'm saying? You selling this illusion, or you selling this story that it's smart for me to stay away from your guy. So
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what he was doing. I felt like the same, like for real, man. I mean, when he said what he said about after the Kell Brook fight, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay,
it didn't stop right there though. Cause look, it stopped after I want to say Khan fight. After Khan fight, I think that was the last one. And then
before Brooke.
Oh, Velasquez. I think Velasquez fight was the last one. And then after
that was before Brooke too. The Velasquez fight is what got Bob Arum in trouble. The Velasquez fight is the fight that Bud them made Bob put in the contract that if he took that fight, that he had to get him.
You're right. It's a Sean Porter fight.
Yeah, he had to get him a Spence fight in the next year, and they made him put that in the contract. That's how that whole 900,000, 100 million, $1 million or whatever penalty that Bob Arum had put on him because he kept promising Terrence Crawford a Spence fight, but he kept trying to get him to fight these other people, and he was like, okay, we put that in writing, and then that's part of what the court case was about, because he never did produce a Spence fight.
After the Porter fight, he really didn't want to say nothing. But after the Avanesian fight, he still didn't say nothing because he was saying that he basically, this is what Bud was saying, not Bob. Bud was saying that Spence had his tail up his butt. He was like, whenever he get his tail out his butt, then he can see me. Right after that, he didn't have no more energy to say nothing. Right, this was after Sean Porter fight or Avanesian fight. He didn't say nothing at all. They asked him.
That was the Porter fight when he said that when Spence was in the arena.
Yeah, he ran out. Yep. But the Avanesian fight though, he didn't say nothing at all, and they asked him about it. He was like, "This is my last fight or whatever. We're gonna go to the drawing board and we're gonna see." You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like the energy changed for some reason.
I mean, I don't know about the energy. I know we got the fight, so apparently his mind was in the right place. Spence's mind was in the right place. They came to the table and made the fight happen. Because I'm not going to question whether or not the guy wanted to fight because we're here. I'm not going to question whether Spence wanted to fight because.
When I said energy, I was talking about, I don't know. I said some reason. I thought we was talking about the Bob because that was his last fight. Remember, he's like, "This is my last."
Bob wasn't involved in the Avanesian fight though. Bob was
exactly. He's like, "I'm a free agent now, and we're gonna go to the drawing board or some shit." He said, "I don't recall."
Yeah, but, and he told Bob, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he pretty much dissed Bob because I'm gonna tell you, man, a lot of people put a lot of stock into Bob Arum talking down on Terrence Crawford, and it pretty much started after the Kell Brook fight because Bob wanted Terrence Crawford to take less money because they were fighting in the bubble, and Terrence Crawford, his team was saying, "No, you gonna pay me my contracted, agreed upon guarantee. That ain't my fault. You want me to fight? We're gonna pay my guarantee." After that, he said what he said about Spence after Terrence won. But then it was like right after that, he started talking about how much money he losing on Terrence Crawford, basically making the man look like, devaluing him. You know what I'm saying? Because at that point, I'm pretty sure he knew Terrence Crawford was on the way out. People had been asking him for a solid year, and he basically kept skirting around saying, "I don't know what's going to happen." And then once he got the opportunity, he didn't waste no time. He told that man right there in front of everybody, "I'm out." He couldn't give me the fight. He said he was going to deliver. I'm gone.
Yeah, even the promoter, the reporters was trying to sway him to stay with Bob because remember he was like, if you stay here with Top Rank, he can potentially get you the big fights. And Bud was like, man, he couldn't give me the big fights when I was with him. How you gonna give me the big fights when I'm, that I'm not with him?
Yeah, they was asking would he still do business with him after he left, and because Bob was saying, and even after that, even you listen to the interview with Bob Arum recently. Yeah, people asked him would he still do business with Terrence Crawford. He said, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Despite the lawsuit and everything, he still, but this man he lost so much money on, but he still want to do business with him. Exactly. Even after Terrence Crawford left, he was still talking about making the Terrence Crawford Josh Taylor fight. He was talking about it so much that people started questioning whether or not he really left Top Rank or whether that was a ruse.
Exactly.
Bob ain't shit. We agree. Bob ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? I ain't disputing that whatsoever. Bob ain't shit. These other motherfuckers ain't saints either.
Hey, I'm not arguing that point. It was just the point of the video that I was making that you replied as if I was saying. I was just listening to what came out what came out of really Bob's mouth. And Bud seemed like he was already ready to get up out of his contract. You know what I'm saying? So when a motherfucker say resume or whatever, and you hear the Bud say this out of his own mouth, he beat whoever they put in front of him. You know what I'm saying? He was asking for the big fight. Bob wasn't trying to get him the big fight. He was willing and dealing. Like we all agreed. Remember back then when Danny Garcia and Thurman was on the table when they tried to say they was asking for too much money and some shit.
Yeah, Thurman came out and said he had for $10 million. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah. I can't say as a fan that that's too much money. I'm not involved in this shit. I don't know. I don't know what the real going rate is for these fights. I know
what they said.
Yeah, but Thurman himself said it was $10 million, and they said that Thurman didn't want to fight if he asked for that much money. That's what
But then they turned around to give, who was it? Khan? 10?
No, nobody didn't get $10 million. And Thurman was well after the Khan situation. Thurman was like before the Porter fight or something.
How much they gave? They gave somebody close to that 10.
Khan got they say Khan got like 6 or something like that. And Bob, I think you had to look it up, man. It's different prices. Different you know what I'm saying, different pay. You know, some reported that Khan got 7 million, Bud got 5.5. Some report Khan got 6, Bud got 4.5, whatever the case may be. But you know, Khan definitely got I think he got paid around or a little more than what Porter got paid. You know what I'm saying? But you know, at the end of the day, man, I agree with what you're saying about Bob. It's just I don't agree about these other folk not being, you know what I'm saying? They got a level of accountability they need to be held to as well. And that's just where I feel about it, man. But I think we done kind of like killed the show talking about this shit, Marlo. You know what I'm saying? I got Joe Brown and jumped off the panel. Trey Hicks have been here with all this wisdom and all this boxing knowledge he got. He ain't said nothing. We've been just going back and forth about this, man. Let's get on something else, man, if you don't mind. It's your show, but I'm just making
No, I don't mind. I said it when you said the first time. I just was throwing little points out there that popped in my head. But anyway, though, what was you saying last? We already talked about the Frank Martin.
I'll say, you know, with me, I'll always get a disclaimer, right? I always try to be honest about stuff. With the Frank Martin fight, I didn't get to watch the fight live, right? So I was getting my updates from Social Scientist, you know, from the King. He was dropping it in the Discord. I'm sneaking looking at my phone because me and my wife were doing something together. So I'm basically just getting my updates on what's going on over the course of the fight weekend on the Discord. I didn't watch a single fight live. So, you know what I'm saying? When I watched the Frank Martin fight, when I did watch it Sunday, I already knew the outcome. You know what I'm saying? I already knew the outcome. I already knew what everybody was complaining about. I already knew what everybody was saying. So I'm not gonna sit there and act like I could watch it completely objectively because I already done been subjected to what other people are saying about the fight. But with that being said, I kind of saw the fight the same way of what I was hearing. You know, I felt like the first half, Frank Martin was having having this struggle, finding this target, finding this pace. His rhythm was off a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not one of them ones that's gonna say I think Frank Martin just had an off night. I credit that to his opponent. You know, I felt like Artem was, you know what I'm saying, was on his stuff, and I felt like he came to fight, came to win. And like he said, coming in, he wanted to impress and be brought back. But I felt like down the stretch, Frank Martin, was starting to take over the fight late. He kind of, to me, he made it a close enough fight for himself to win. Whether people feel like it was a robbery or not, the work he done on the back half is what made it close enough to where it was even considered to where you could even make an argument for him winning the fight at all. But, you know, as for me, I felt like I liked the work that Artem had done early on. I liked what Frank done later on, and I felt like the knockdown was enough to win the fight. But I'm not mad at nobody who felt the opposite. I'm not mad at nobody who felt it was a draw. But I just think that for Frank Martin, it was a good experience. He needed to have that kind of fight because if you just constantly having the same type of results every time out, what are you going to work on? So I'm glad that he had the type of fight he had, and then he knows that he's going to have to work on some different things, or they're going to match him up differently. But ultimately, if he's fighting a certain type of fighter, he knows that, okay, I got to be ready for this because this is where I had deficiencies against this guy.
Inoue, what you think about Inoue versus
I got Fulton, man. I'll be honest, man. When Trey was saying what he was saying, in my mind, I was saying, like, before he said it, in my mind, I was saying, I hear all of that. I agree with all of that. But I said Fulton months ago, and I'm gonna ride with the guy that I said before. And because I looked at it like for the same reasons I believed in Fulton when I first said I felt like he beat Monster, I still believe in him for those reasons. But you can't discount and just act like all those other factors don't exist. But I just said, I'm willing to stick with the guy I said originally. And if that means I got to eat crow and drop some points in the Champ Ross, I'll do it. But I think Fulton got what it takes to win the fight. I think he's gonna be a bit much for him on fight night.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
I can.
Yep. Okay.
All right, because I had accidentally hit some shit and had got up out of here. Normally that shit be knocking me off and shit. You know what I'm saying?
I felt like you got tired of hearing that shit and just left.
I ain't gonna lie, I had kind of fell asleep and shit. This motherfucker, man. I kind of had my juices flowing to jump on the panel and talk some boxing.
Killed it, didn't we, man?
Yeah, y'all kind of knocked me off.
Hey, I'm sorry,
bro. Shit, I had some. Oh yeah, yeah, I just seen the motherfucker get out box before, man. If y'all ever want to see a newer get out box, go watch him versus Ivani Vasha from Cuba. A 4 on my scale. He went out there and he actually a 4.5. He went out there and boxed the shit out of Inoue. You go out there and put them angles and shit on Inoue, man. The motherfucker, he ain't no cyborg. He ain't no Superman. I mean, he's a good fighter, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, who has he fought like Cool Boy Steph? It's kind of like when Josh Taylor fought against Teofimo, and I had Teofimo at first, but I decided to ride with Taylor Gang because shit, I'm the founder of the damn Taylor Gang. And I said, man, I feel nervous for Taylor because he ain't never fought nobody like Teofimo that can counterpunch and be kind of slick and smooth out there. You know what I'm saying? Who the fuck has a Inoue fought that's like Cool Boy Steph? This ain't no Maloney brother or no fucking what's the name of the dude that went out there and got the upset over that Russell brother? Rodriguez, what's his first name? Still a pretty good fighter. He decent, but goddamn, this ain't it. Cool Boy ain't that either. And then at the same time, a lot of people they want to take that Inoue versus Donaire 1 off the table because he went out there and stopped him in the rematch. Well, that shit's still on the table for me. Why the fuck he didn't look like a Superman in that fight? That shit was a majority decision, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, he got broke up in that fight too.
Yeah, that was a tough ass fight for that motherfucker. But don't nobody talk about that. I ain't heard nobody say nothing about Inoue versus Donaire 1. That shit took place. Yeah, and anybody that know me know that I don't really give a fuck about rematches because it's a different equation. You got so much familiarity on the board and all that kind of shit that rematches are normally different than the first fight. But guess what? This ain't no rematch against Cool Boy in this fight. This is his first time seeing this puzzle, and let's see if he gonna be able to go out there and figure that shit out. Only thing I'm just nervous about the politics, and I'm nervous about the layoff because Cool Boy ain't fought in 13 months. That's why I nicknamed PBC Postponed Boxing Careers because all them motherfuckers do is come off layoffs with PBC, all of them. Shit, there's so many goddamn layoffs on PBC. That shit get on my fucking nerves. I swear, but it's part of the equation, so we got to factor that shit in. It is what it is. But I think Cool Boy got the size, the speed, the skills, angles, all that shit. I think he got enough to go out there and beat this guy. We'll see.
Yeah, Trey, I was gonna say, he struggled. That was a 36-year-old Donaire. The 39-year-old Donaire is the Donaire he knocked out.
Yeah.
Hey, Victor Lee. Welcome to the gym for the first time. He said Donaire power over Fulton power. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but shit, the fight game way more than
yeah,
it's power though.
It's more fast to the game than power though.
Absolutely. Shit, you go put, man. I don't give a damn what nobody say. Inoue, I don't know if he beat the Heartbreaker. Man, that goddamn Brandon Figueroa be all over your motherfucking ass. I swear, Sean Porter and them said it correctly. When you fight that motherfucker, it's damn like you getting jumped. All the punches coming from.
You gotta wear him. You gotta wear him for 12 rounds. So he ain't gonna stop coming. No matter what you hit him with, you know what I'm saying? If you can't disconnect from his senses, he's gonna get right back on you. You know what I'm saying? So I agree. And then you got to look at that's a big man. You know what I'm saying? By comparison to Inoue. You know what I'm saying? That's a big dude. And then, Donaire, I see, like you said, dude in the comment section said Donaire power greater than Fulton power, but Donaire was going down to Inoue's class. Inoue is coming up to Fulton class. It's a little bit of a difference there. Donaire went down to the weight class, back down in weight because he basically was not as competitive at his weight that he belonged at the time anymore. And he came up with the idea to go down. And like I think Trey X said it, that Donaire probably one of the first only fighters you've seen in history go down in weight at an old age and have success.
Hell yeah. And then at the same time, I like to look at regions and shit too. I mean, Inoue is really like an anomaly. How many fucking Japanese fighters been running the boxing, running the game, being a pound for pound #1 level fighter in the history of boxing? We done had some good ones like fighting Harada and shit like that. I think he went out there and beat Adair Joffrey twice and shit back in the day. KSI Galaxy and stuff like that. But overall, man, there don't be a bunch of bad motherfuckers coming from no damn Japan. And he talking about Rodriguez as an Olympic gold medalist. I don't remember him being a gold medalist. Last time I checked, I thought he was like a 4.5 on my scale. I know that he got an extensive amateur background and shit, and he was winning medals, but I don't remember him winning no gold medal in the Olympics. I got to go back and check that again. I think he might be wrong about that. Matter of fact, I'm about to go check right now. I'll be right back. I think it's Emmanuel Rodriguez.
You know, Marlo?
Yeah, I'm here. I thought I was off mute. Rod X said, I believe what D-Lo is saying is all boxing promoters, managers, and advisors are full of shit. Chant Ross saying cheers. You got the little 2 beers in there.
Yeah, he won gold at the Youth Olympics. That is not the same thing. We give him credit for winning the silver medal at the AIBA World Championships. That's a major accomplishment. And that's why I had him as a 4.5 on my scale. You know what I'm saying? But he ain't no Olympic gold medalist. So, yeah, you were wrong about that one, pardon.
Is this the Rodriguez kid you talking about? The one that
beat, Manny
Rodriguez,
okay, the one that went out there and got the upset over that Gary Antonio Russell.
Didn't they fight 2 times? That's the dude he fought twice. They had a draw and then he beat him. Or he had a draw with somebody.
Yeah, the first time I think it was a headbutt
or something, no decision or something. Yeah.
Then they came back and he went out there and schooled Russell.
But if I remember correctly, he was struggling before that happened in that first fight. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he was just he wasn't just getting off before that happened. I thought Russell was already having a hard time with the dude.
Yeah, but that rematch, he went out there and shined on Russell motherfucking ass. I give him credit on that. He a bad motherfucker, but shit, he got blasted out against Inoue when they fought. It seemed like he was intimidated coming into the fight.
Hype say Nietes and Wasim locking up this weekend. He said battle between 2 veterans, fighters that have been around for multiple decades. Charles D said they shut Bud out. Thurman didn't want it. Danny Garcia didn't want it. They didn't want none of Spence neither until that motherfucker started being pay-per-view. Charles D said
Mikey fight is why them dudes started thinking that it make sense to fight Spence. Danny didn't want to fight. Porter didn't want to fight. Thurman didn't want to fight. But then when that Mikey fight done good numbers, all of a sudden they willing to fight him. Well, Thurman, it took longer. But Danny and Sean, they wanted to fight him like immediately after that.
Yeah.
Mikey, hey, bro, you gotta post a new schedule on the community page, bro.
I did.
Nah, you posted the results from week 1, but you didn't post the new schedule.
Oh shit! All right.
Yeah.
That motherfucker basically put him on blast. That nigga, Mikey said like since nobody want to fight him and shit, like he's like the most feared fighter at welterweight. Charles C said, Noah independent. He also said hella money in Japan. Hey, you catch up in the chat? I'll post him real quick, bro. If you can read the chat, or D-Lo. Yeah,
I ain't hear you. What you say?
I said you catch up in the chat. I'll post them real quick.
Where you at?
Um, Charles D said hella money in Japan for the fight. He also said that's why Fulton over there now. Then he said the zone. He also said the zone was passing out bread at that point.
All right, I
Um,
see you. Then he said, nah, that was true. Charlo said, I'll get that when Jacob said you ain't touching him. Then he said he fought Khan, I think, before Benavidez. Oh, let me scroll down, man. Let me get to some more relevant type shit. Hyphy say Cambosa squaring off versus Maxie Hughes this weekend. Yeah, I think both of them ain't fought in a while, man. It's been like, shit, 10, 11 months for both of them since they fought. So that's a variable that I don't really like, but I definitely think that Cambosa's going to go out there and win that fight, though. I think he'll write for 3-1 favor and shit. 85-15 amateur record. He a very tough ass fighter too, man. He got one of the most significant wins in the lightweight division. I respect what Maxie Hughes went out there and did against Kid Galahad and stuff like that. He pretty hot. That's one thing that I had got from listening to L Dub, because he was talking about, because he actually picked Maxie Hughes over Kid Galahad because he felt like he was just hot coming into the fight. But he got a little bit of inactivity and shit right now. So that might cool him off some. And I think that Kambosos is just naturally the more talented fighter. Some people might think he weak because he went out there and took 2 losses to Devin Haney. But shit, when the competition get up there like that, anything can happen. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely respect his toughness, man. So I'm looking for Kambosos to go out there and put them hands on Maxie Hughes. What you think about that shit, D-Lo?
Yeah, I think it's a solid fight. Like you said, it's the unknown. You know, both guys coming off the inactivity. My main thing, the biggest difference I see is you got Kambosos coming off of 2 very lopsided losses. So we never know what that does to the psyche of a fighter. You know what I'm saying? Coming off of that situation, that happened to him at home. Now he goes into this situation. He's not at home. He's fighting a guy that's a champion, even though it's a pretty much what's considered to be a not major championship, but he's seeing a guy that's a champion when he looks at Hughes, and that's what he used to be. So we don't know how that affects things, but I think he also sees it as an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So as far as the matchup, I mean, skills on skills, I like more so what I see with Kambosos in terms of skills. I like his tenacity. I think he's actually a meaner fighter. But you know, if Hughes can pick up where he left off and get back, you know, come back in here like he didn't take a break and could get back, you know, like he's still as hot as he was, then I would probably favor Hughes. But I mean, it's a tough fight to pick, you know what I'm saying, with all the circumstances. For me, I can't just say, you know, if I had to just pick right now, I'd say I lean to Kambosos, the guy that I think has the best win of the 2 guys for sure. And I can't knock him a whole lot for what happened in the Haney fight, because my expectation wasn't for him to be competitive against Haney. So, you know what I'm saying? I just thought that was a bad matchup for him. And, you know, it was a fight he was kind of, you know, backed into, and he had to take it. But, you know what I'm saying? So when I look at all of that, I think I have to lean toward Kambosos, but I wouldn't be surprised if he went that way.
Yeah, I think he mean as a snake, like you said, man. I think he'll rattlesnake out there. Let's see if he'll curve. He's somebody like Roberto Duran. I know he ain't as good as Duran, but what I'm saying is Duran, after he lost No Mas to Sugar Ray Leonard and shit, had everybody down on him off in his home country. He came back and showed something against Davey Moore and got his respect back. So let's see if this motherfucker Kambosos got that in him where he can go get his respect back. Salute to El Fenici in the building. I thought I smelled the goat in this motherfucker. Say salute to the Block family and everyone on the cone. Shalom to everybody. Shalom to you, brother. Then we already read that from Victor Lee talking about Donaire got more power than Fulton. I don't disagree with him on that. One of the prettiest check hooks I ever seen when he hit that motherfucker Vic Darchinyan and knocked the cowboy shit out of him. Then he said, I think I addressed that already. Victor Lee said Figueroa is a punch magnet. He is a punch magnet, but shit, he can take them punches. But I actually think that he gets kind of a bad rap because he don't be taking them punches square in the face all the time. The way that he gets on the inside, he kind of get his head off the line a little bit. He kind of slippery a little bit. it's hard to hit him square. I be seeing a lot of them shots glancing off of Figueroa. Like most of the time after the fight, he don't be out there just looking fucked up. If you look at him, you know what I'm saying. He look like he been in the fight, but he don't look like somebody that's just been getting teed off on all day. So I think he a little bit better than people give him credit for. But he's definitely the heartbreaker. That motherfucker will break you out there. So I got a lot of respect for Brandon Figueroa. Shit, he one of my favorite fighters as far as action fights go. Salute to my boy Eric R in the building. I was talking about how you got off to a good start week 1. Went out there and got you 2 bonuses on them boys. I really thought she had action in first place. On the cool. Hypey said, Manuel Rodriguez, former IBF bantamweight champion. You're a pretty damn good fighter. I just felt like he was intimidated coming into the fight with Inoue. So that's one thing that you got to take into consideration when you got these big power punches, Mike Tyson type motherfuckers. Are you going to go into the fight like a Buster Douglas and you don't give a damn? And you feel like you can take what this dude got and you going to come back with something? Or are you going to go in there scared from the get-go? And I just felt like that man was scared at the opening bell. Shit, he was scared at the weigh-in to me. Like, I just felt like he was intimidated by Inoue, and I think that fucked up his performance. Even though he might have got beat regardless, but I just felt like he didn't have the mind state to go in there and beat no fucking Inoue. Victor Lee said Rodriguez was touted as the best boxer at the time from Puerto Rico when he fought Inoue. All right, that's what's up. I still thought he was intimidated going into the fight. Victor Lee said Fulton got dropped by Greer that Maloney destroyed. Yeah, I mean, styles make fights and shit, man. We know Joshua Greer got a pretty good punch and shit, you know what I'm saying? But that don't mean nothing. I mean, you pretty much saying triangle theory. Let's see if your triangle theory gonna hold up. You know what I'm saying? But you got the favorite. We'll definitely see, though. He said and Fulton was 20 seconds away from getting knocked out by Adam Lopez. I got to go back and rewatch that one. I know he beat Lopez by majority decision in the 8-round fight. I ain't seen it in a long time, though, so I can't really say too much on that one. Salute to my boy Gil Coles in the building. What's going down, bro? Says salute, fellas. Yo, Marlo. And still, yeah, he went out there and got Marlo by 5 points, 130 to 125. You know what I'm saying, to start this shit off. Eric R said, follow the money. What fight you talking about, man? What fight we following the money on? El Fenici said 10 months, not a layoff in this age of boxing. Is damn near standard now, but it's still a layoff, though. I mean, it might be standard. We just on some bullshit on a consistent basis, but that don't change the definition. 10 months is a hell of a layoff. I done seen some tough fighters come in off of 10-month layoffs and go out there and get stopped. So I know that should be affecting some of these fighters. Hype said Nito sent Montiel body into shock, separating him from his senses. What Montiel is he talking about? I don't know what Montiel he talking about. Help me remember who that is. Montiel. That sounds familiar, but it seems like I remember some Montiel shit from back in the day or something. Eric R say good looking out. All right, I'm pretty much caught up in the chat. But what Montiel is he talking about, D-Lo, that fought against Inoue?
You got me, D-Lo. I mean, D-Lo. Gil Cole, you got me. I'll be back.
Hyphy say Japan hosts many fights between lower weights. They usually use 18-foot rings. Most important factor in this fight is the ring size. Yeah, I guess you could say that shit, man. But I think if Cool Boy gonna keep the whole fight where his back is pointing towards the ropes and Inoue's back is pointing towards the center of the ring, he gonna lose anyway. That motherfucker gonna have to go out there and use some angles and keep the fight towards the center of the ring. He can't just go out there and fight on the perimeter the whole time. I can't see him winning the decision like that. And I don't expect him to stop Inoue. I mean, like he said, he ain't got a lot of power. And at the same time, I just seen some toughness from Inoue when he fought against Donaire. You know what I'm saying? That was a war. So I don't think a Cool Boy gonna stop him. But he gonna have to go out there and box and turn to keep that shit towards the center of the ring.
Rodolfo, salute, fam.
Rodolfo Rivera Jr., what's up with it? I ain't even seen his name. Oh, yeah, there you go. What's up, bro? Salute. Yeah, and Gil Cole's talking about it. And still, I had to go out there and represent the block fam. Hardline Boxing Talk, a.k.a. the Boxing Librarian, had ran some trivia. 100 questions. I had to go out there and take first place on them, boy. against my boy Nick Harmon. Me and him going back and forth like Thriller in Manila. Ali versus Joe Frazier, part 3. You know what I'm saying? I came down the stretch and took that title from his motherfucking ass. You
Shout
know
out
what
to
I'm saying?
Nick Armour.
Yeah,
Playback game.
I had to let him know, man, we've been doing trivia for 5 years on this corner, man. You know what I'm saying? I had to go out there and represent. I let it be known, too, that we've been doing trivia for a long time. Shit, we the ones that, pretty much started this shit when Marlo had put it down. So I had to go out there and let that shit be known and put it down. You know what I'm saying? But we got some respect and shit. I even got a wrench over there on the channel and shit. Yeah. I'm pretty much new over there, and I already got a little wrench and shit, man. So I see some respect and came this way. That's what's up. We'll take it.
D-Lo, why you quiet over there, man?
Oh no, he been reading the chat, man. You know what I'm
So
saying? Then you came back talking to Hyphy. I mean not Hyphy.
let
Gil
me find
Cole,
out.
so I got
Let me find out because it's 2 weeks out.
oh no, I ain't man, that the case. I don't care nothing about that.
Hey,
I've been here talking my shit the whole time, man. I mean, I definitely ain't moving up. Hey, I've been seeing some people acting like they tensing up about it because the fight get close on both sides. Yeah, man, this, that. I like, hey, man, I'm riding with the dude I picked. I don't feel, no way, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, I might have messed up, no, I mean, it's gonna be what it's gonna be at this point anyway. But I got confident that the guy I've been saying gonna win the fight.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Don't change up. Shit, win, lose, or draw in this motherfucker. I'm gonna get to talk my shit, and you get to talk yours. Big boy, salute. What's happening?
Big boy boxing. Gil talking about shit. He needs to add him a hard line boxing talk trivia belt to his collection. it's some wolves over there though. I ain't gonna even count. Shit. Really, I probably got lucky because he asked some questions that was within my knowledge range. But outside of that shit, I probably can't fuck with Nick Harmon. I ain't gonna even lie. Nick Harmon a bad motherfucker. It's crap business. But I had to go out there and take him down one time. You know what I'm saying? That's my boy. He talking about let's get first and second off in the Channel Ross this season. He holding up his end of the bargain. He got 3rd place the first week, and I went out there and got 24th place. I'm out there fucking up. Well, shit, we're gonna come back with something though. It's a long season.
Them boys at the top put some y'all know I had this week.
Nigga, they picked 100%.
Jump. That's what I said. I said these boys have jumped out the gate. Like I think the dude in first place got like 47 more points than I got. I said, God dog.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, damn, if they gonna pick 100%, what we supposed to do, man? If they gonna go out there and pick 100% and get 10 points on every goddamn fight, and that ain't even including bonuses.
Man, you gotta tilt your hat to that shit, man.
That's all you can do, man, to tilt your hat and congratulate them motherfuckers, man. They got off to an outstanding job. And guess who was in the mix like bacon, eggs, and grits? That'll be Geneva Warren. Shit, she gonna stay up in the mix, nigga. She is not playing. 3rd place, first week, picked 100%. You know what I'm saying? Let me jump back up. Are you gonna get it back in the chat? Go ahead.
Oh yeah, go ahead. I was gonna tell D-Lo, I think Joseph Brown was talking to him. Where you was last at?
I jump up in there. Eric Gar said I got to get up early. I'm gonna get the playback squad together. Peace, family. Definitely appreciate you, brother.
Peace, man.
Victor Lee said Fulton has the tendency to get back up on the ropes. Inoue is going to have a field day on the ribs. Also, Fulton jabs are low and his hands are low. Inoue can explode and catch Fulton. All right, man, we going to see. That's all I can say. We going to see, man. Us sitting up here debating ain't going to do shit. I can't fight for the motherfucker. You can't fight for the motherfucker. We just going to have to see. I just know it ain't going to be as easy as what you think it is. It seems like you think it's about to be a wash out here or something. Yeah. I definitely don't see that shit.
Derek Baby, salute, bro. Yeah, I was gonna say that sound like Fulton keys to victory is basically all he's saying. Like that's what all Fulton need to do is basically stay off the ropes and keep that motherfucker in the middle of the ring and work off the jab. Like that's all that sounds like to me.
Yeah, it ain't like Cool Boy ain't a 75-15 United States national champion. I mean, shit, nigga, that's a 3.5 on the scale. And Inoue ain't nothing but a 4. I knew he went to the AIBA World Championships and got his ass kicked twice by Yosvani Vaishya from Cuba. That's what happened. He ain't went out there and won no major shit. Like he in the Olympics winning gold medals, or he at the AIBA World Championships winning medals. He went to the AIBA World Championships twice and did not medal downtown. As a matter of fact, the first time he fought Vasha, he got his ass destroyed out there. And the second time he made it a closer fight, but he still lost. So let's just see how. And guess what? Svani Vasha was a guy that boxes you on the outside. Only difference is he was a southpaw, but he's still a guy that boxes on the outside. So that's why I say if you go out there and box this guy and you use angles and you turn him, you got action. You know what I'm saying? I done already seen it done. I done seen it done twice already. So we're gonna see. Like I said, man, shit, I can't fight for him. You can't fight for him. He say the full hands down, man down. All right, we're gonna see. Joseph Brown said, like your boy D-Lo, Spence punch resistance may be in question. He took a weight drain. You know who I'm talking about, scary ass Negroes, man. I don't know what you talking about. He talking to you though, D-Lo.
Yeah, I think he's saying somebody's saying that, probably somebody who would ride hard with Spence. Now it seems like he's saying that they starting to make excuses that Spence might be weight drained, but I might be misinterpreting what he meant as well. I don't know who he talking about when he said my boy. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, there's a lot of them that's waffling both ways. You know what I'm saying? They back on. I don't know, man. Man, he lose. I mean, hey, that they overly concerned about that because they don't do what we do. We on the channel Raw picking 10, 15, 20 fights every week. So we ain't scared to put our reps out there on the line, making picks. And we don't take it to heart when we get one wrong. But these jokers be like just overly concerned about, man, I picked the wrong dude. I ain't gonna come back on YouTube for a while. I can't go to the Facebook group. I don't care. Hey,
I saw a dude put a video up of Spence. You know how in camp you just tapping on the bag for the last few minutes or whatever, like maxing out. You already tired, sweating, and all that. I think the motherfucker be trying to throw like a couple hundred punches in a few minutes. Somebody had that video up there and it was like, oh man, he looked weight drained and flat footed. Something wrong with him. I was like, these niggas is crazy, bro.
I had posted that video on Discord. Did you see the end of it with the ugly ass nigga laying in the bed? Yeah, that whoever posted that video, if you watch the whole video to the end, you got this Beetlejuice looking motherfucker laying in the bed talking shit. I was like, hey, I would never put myself on camera if I look like that. Hell, I'm handsome as a motherfucker, and I still don't put myself on camera. I damn sure wouldn't put myself on camera looking like that motherfucker for real.
Hey, I'm looking. I could tell by the way the motherfucker was sweating and shit. I could tell what he was doing, right? And I was like, damn, these motherfuckers be putting anything up there. I don't know what the fuck they be talking about. Motherfuckers be crazy as hell, man.
And then at the same time, you don't know the context. Like right. if you somebody like Earl Spence, that type of person that go in there and go hard all the time, sometimes your coach got to pull back the reins and tell you, hey man, we just gonna kind of do a walkthrough today. I don't want you going out here trying to murder everything. I want you to kind of slow it down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? They're getting closer to fight. We ain't trying to leave everything in the gym. You see what I'm saying? It might be the time of the workout and shit. It could have been towards the end where he just working on punch placement instead of going out there just trying to work and kill the bag. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know what's really going on by a short little clip and shit. So that's why I think motherfuckers are silly when they be trying to make major opinions off a 1 minute clip.
Man, I was like, man, these motherfuckers are stupid as a motherfucker. Don't know what the hell they be talking about. And then they ain't even looking like you said, the context, but let alone ain't even seeing. Like, if you used to watching different motherfuckers camp and how they be working out, like Mayweather used to do the same shit. Like Mayweather go up in there and hit the mitts, do some other shit, do some sparring, and then like towards the end, the nigga be up on the bag, just barely tapping that bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like tap, like a certain amount of times and shit until whenever the bell rang. And I used to be wondering, like, what the fuck? But motherfucker be trying to get off a certain amount of punches while you still tired. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I heard Roger, one of the motherfuckers, say that in the gym. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker, that's just a part of their conditioning. When they tired and can't throw no more, a motherfucker be up in there still, tapping that bag. You know what I'm saying? Just in case they be in that situation, to be able to push through it. That's what it looked like to me. But that motherfucker, I said these motherfuckers say anything, bro. Any goddamn thing just to make shit look
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
their narrative, make it look like their narrative.
Yeah, you're right, man. And you know what I'm saying? It's like, I mean, and that's human nature, right? You know, we all could look at the same picture and see three different things. But you know what I'm saying? At some point, you got to be honest with yourself and realize that in some cases you just can't see nothing positive in something, and in other cases you can't see nothing negative in something just because that's where your alignments are. You know what I'm saying? Because I see cats criticizing these guys, both of these guys training. Like I seen a dude saying, you know, Crawford probably ain't probably ain't pushing himself as hard as he used to because he feel like what he already do is enough. And you know, we got a question: is he training hard enough? And I'm like, man, this dude go on vacation in Thailand and he looking for somewhere to go work out. You know, so I'm like, I think the evidence supports that the dude gonna train hard for this fight. And then say you got Spence, you know, they criticizing him, saying, you know, that he in a fat camp. You know, he can't be trained as hard as he's supposed to because he's spending too much time trying to get the weight off. And then I'm like, man, you ain't in the camp. You see snippets of a training video. You don't know what's going on.
All access make all them niggas look stupid.
Man, they sound stupid anyway because they ain't in the camp.
It's only 2 episodes of all access out too. But all access, them niggas is up in there really basically strength and conditioning is what they look like they both working on. Both of them motherfuckers in good condition. Both of them. It's 2 weeks out. Ain't nobody worried about no damn weight. The nigga Spence got a goddamn somebody that make his meals, somebody that give him massages and shit. That nigga looking like he got Mayweather money or something.
That motherfucker Bud Crawford was working out on Father's Day, so you know he gonna work hard. He had his son out there. But I can't lie though. I like Crawford a lot more when I don't listen to him talk. I'm not bullshitting. Like he said one thing, he said, man, I don't even think about losing. Then he said, but it crosses my mind sometimes. Now how he said, I don't even think about losing. Does it cross my mind? Yeah.
Yeah, that was like in the same sentence.
It's the same sentence. It's like, damn, ain't that a contradiction?
Hey, and people took off with that too. And it's like, man, I think any athlete, not just athlete. That's what I said. I said, I don't care if you're an athlete, a boxer, or whatever, you know, or just a person. You think about losing. You know what I'm saying? Because you got people out here, we taking losses every day. You know what I'm saying? Every day you leave the house, you trying to think about, hey, I ain't trying to take no loss today. I'm trying to be up. When I come home, I want to feel like I got to win, no matter what it is you do. But if you don't think about the possibility of taking an L, then you're going to mess around and let one slip up on you. So I feel like any of these athletes who sit there and say that they don't ever think about the possibility of losing, or I think they lying. And I think he told her, you know, he lied and caught himself and was like, well, you know, yeah, I do cross my mind. Yeah, because you a man. You know what I'm saying? You can't help it.
Lie. Just like when he fought Mean Machine and Mean Machine dropped him and he was making it seem like he wasn't on knockdown or something. Like, I can't listen to the man talk, bro. I swear to God, like that really makes me kind of think like, damn, this nigga is he delusional? Is he like what the fuck going on with this nigga? Like, he just not the type of person that I can just take his word and run with it. Like, I listen to him talk and get angry. You know what I'm saying? But when I think about his skills in the ring, I mean, he a good fighter. I ain't never took that away from him. I just never thought that he should have beaten Dongo and been considered the best fighter in the world. That was one of my main problems with him. He can fight like a motherfucker, but I can't listen to him talk, man. I ain't bullshit.
Hey, shit, I forgot what I was going to say.
I think you was talking about that training. You was talking about 24/7.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say. I heard Bud say some shit too in training camp that surprised me. That he said, that nigga said he didn't feel like going to go train, and Bomac had to like pump him up to get up out of there, get up and go train. Y'all seen that on part 2?
Yeah, I remember that part too. That did stand out to me. I was really kind of surprised. I was like, damn, nigga. He seemed like he the person that got to get everybody else fired up to go train.
Yeah, hey, that shit stood out to me. I was like, what?
Yeah, I think it's like anything else, you know, the dude, he probably get burned out on training like anybody else, because you got to have, and I think that's why these people have folks around him, right? Because like you think about just working out, just like Trey X, you know, I ain't gonna sit here in front like I be working out, but like Trey X, you know, he like to work out, stay in shape. Some people can do that by themselves consistently. Some people, even if they do it by themselves, they ain't gonna push themselves as hard if ain't nobody around and say, hey man, you need to go ahead and keep going. They gonna relax. And I think, you know what I'm saying, like you know, I think the dude probably, you know, wanted to take a day off, and Bomac was like, hey man, hey, this ain't the time. You know what I'm saying? You got to get out there and get it. You want to win this fight, you know what I'm saying? You got to give it everything you got and leave it all in camp. So, you know what I'm saying? I commend this trainer for that, but yeah, that ain't something you really want to hear, you know what I'm saying, regardless of the context of it, you know, whether it was, you know what I'm saying, all meant to be a way of big up in his trainer and talking about how his trainer pushes him. I felt like, you know what I'm saying, when you in that setting, you put something like that out there, people gonna take that and, you know, they gonna look at it like, hey, this dude really ain't, how hungry is this dude at this point? But then at the same time, when you look at him,
that was the question, right? Like they was asking him, I guess, you know what I'm saying, do we ever feel that way? You know what I'm saying, or some shit. Like I wonder why he even answered that when he wouldn't even answer about a motherfucking knockdown, but he admitted that he didn't feel like getting up out of bed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
yeah,
shit,
I think sometimes you can be too honest, and I think sometimes you can be too guarded. Like I think some of this stuff, like he says, and I, you know what I'm saying, and I ain't saying like he the only one, but we talk about him, so I'm gonna keep it on him. But I think like some of the stuff he says, you know how he talk about that competitive nature he got. Like he's so damn competitive that he can't even admit when he done, you know what I'm saying, you know, slipped up in certain situations. Like he couldn't bring himself to admit, even though the world saw Mean Machine dropping, and regardless of what the ref did or did not do, he basically acted like the man didn't even land a punch. And like his competitive nature won't even allow him to concede that the man hit him with a good shot and put him on his knee.
Hey, I heard another thing. Did you hear this part? I think Sean Porter said it. Said they was trying to throw a football like 60 yards or some shit, and it was bet Bud that he couldn't do it, and that nigga stayed out there for like 5-6 hours trying to throw that motherfucker 60 yards. And Bud said he did do it. He finally did it. And what was that? It was Porter and somebody else was like, hell no.
Ed with 2 T's. Yeah, they say he threw it like 50 or 55 or
yeah,
something
they say
like
hell no. He did, but we let him have it though. Like they all agreed with him just so he could stop trying. I was like, wow, that nigga obsessed, nigga. Like, oh, niggas. That's the reason why I was like, wow, that shit. But
hey, he like the kind of dude that, you know what I'm saying, if somebody beat him up in the neighborhood, they gonna have to beat him up about 10 times.
1,000 times.
He gonna keep coming back till he win. You know what I'm saying? Like he gonna get a win, and he gonna act like them 9. If he win the 10th fight, he gonna be like them other 9 didn't happen.
Didn't count, yeah. And he started all of them.
Yeah.
And as far as the working out shit go, don't nobody feel like training every goddamn day. I even heard Mayweather say sometimes he don't feel like training. He'll have to make himself go, and once he do go and he get started, he pretty good. But he do be sitting up there thinking hard, like, damn, do I feel like going to the gym today? I done heard him say that shit.
Well, the hardest thing to do with a lot of things is to start, right? You know what I'm saying? Is to actually start. That's why they say, like, if you do anything, is it 10 days in a row, it becomes a habit. You know what I'm saying? So you got to just start doing it and just keep doing it, because once you stop, then you got to start it all over again. So I mean, I get that, you know what I'm saying? But I just think that in you know, with it being all access, you know, it's going to actually grow some, it's going to get some legs. But at the end of the day, it may not have no bearing on the fight whatsoever. And I doubt Spence and his side looking at that like, oh yeah, we got him. You know, I think they smarter than that. You know what I'm saying? That ain't gonna affect what they doing over there on their side, just like on vice versa.
And then at the same time, to me, it feel better when I get it in when I don't feel like getting it in. That's when I be talking to myself, these motherfuckers don't live like me and all this kind of shit. That's, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool when you're motivated, but nigga, when you get it in anyway, when you don't feel like doing it, that's when the real killer come out, in my opinion. So if a motherfucker don't feel like going and he go anyway, I respect that nigga for that shit. You know what I'm saying?
And that could have been a chess move, to be honest. Like motherfucker read in too much of that shit. If another fighter read in too much and play games if you want to. You know what I'm saying?
I think there's a lot of that going on anyway, Marlo. When you really listen to what they say about like they don't neither side really give a whole lot of talk
Like
about
the hot sauce.
strategy, but
The hot
about
sauce.
huh?
I said like the hot sauce. That was my first time saying, "Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
chess game," because this nigga Bud got on the bus and was asking like, "Oh Mac, did you tell him I ain't eat hot sauce?" Like he was really interested in finding out who the fuck told him about the hot sauce.
Thought he
And
had
he
one of them Ryan Garcia moles out there.
and that could have been a guess, you know. I mean, not even necessarily a guess. He could have been like, "Oh, that he don't like no hot sauce." You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, because that's something that you know, like my partners. You know what I'm saying? Like that's something they would say about somebody. Like, oh, that dude, man. You know, that dude be getting pedicure. He don't eat no hot sauce. You know what I'm saying? So you know, I mean, I can see that being something that you like. He looking at it like, "Oh, that salt, that dude, he cut like me. He don't eat no hot sauce." So,
Hey, Earl said they asked him, "Where did you hear that from?" And Earl said he heard it from Bud himself. So
probably did. He might have told him on the phone.
Yeah,
I was about to say that, but might have actually said it to him himself. Well, he
it don't
said it in
necessarily have to
public.
be he said on the
Or
phone.
said it publicly somewhere.
It could have been, yeah, it could have been him on the phone and in the background, like, nah, I don't eat no hot sauce. You know what I'm saying? Talking to somebody in the background.
He could have said it in an interview, Marlo.
Yeah, and
you know what I'm saying, years ago, anything. You know what I'm saying? When you constantly got a mic and cameras in your face, you can't remember everything you don't put out there.
That's called paying attention, though. That's why I said, oh, the chess game is on. The mental warfare started already. You know what I'm saying? Once a nigga gets to pondering on how a nigga know something and all that shit, that's how you know something going on.
But yeah, all this respect that they giving each other, I feel like that's all mental warfare. You know what I'm saying? I think it's all part of mental warfare. But then they go out there, they gonna try to take each other's head off. You know what I'm saying? But and then like, you know, somebody say this is what they gonna do when the bell ring. That don't necessarily mean that what they gonna do. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
I like the respect, to be honest, because they respecting each other's, history and
yeah, ain't nothing wrong. I feel like it ain't
more shining it on that. Like this,
disrespect sales. You know what I'm saying? And turmoil and all that stuff and pushing and shoving at the press conferences and stuff. But at the end of the day, it ain't really necessary. You know what I'm saying, to sell a few more tickets. And that's really what these guys said at the beginning. They were like, we just gonna be ourselves. We ain't gonna act out of character to sell this fight. You know what I'm saying? Which basically these dudes doing the amount of interviews and press they doing, they acting out of character just in doing that. But they're gonna stay true to their character in terms of who they are as men, and ain't gonna be out here acting like, you know, all the rah-rah stuff just to be trying to build up the fight. And I respect that.
Yeah, it's respectable like a motherfucker.
All right, I'm gonna jump up in the chat a little bit. Big Boys Boxing said if Fulton can keep Inoue off him and stay off the ropes, he can win. The question is, can he do it for 12? Yeah, that's what I'm saying too. You know what I'm saying? I got the same opinion. Derek Bailey, salute to you. Hey, let me know if he's still trying to gamble too, man. I know you be busy. You don't even be having time to check the bets. That's why I ain't been sending you nothing. Shit, we been gambling like a motherfucker. Hyphy say, take a second to recognize the zone card from Saturday. Shit, I know Josh Kelly went out there and fought that Argentinian. I ain't actually see the fight, though. I know he went out there and won by decision. That's what I picked on the Channel Ross. I didn't even see Alicia Baumgartner fight either. I ain't gonna lie, man. Y'all can crucify me all you want to. I don't really be caring about the women boxing all that much. I ain't gonna even lie to you. Hell, I be caring more about the weigh-in than the motherfucking fight, nigga. I be trying to see him up there in them bikinis and shit, nigga. I'm just gonna be 100. Hell, when I'm in my free time, I would much rather watch James Toney versus Mike McCallum or some shit than sitting down watching some women fights. That's just me. Y'all ain't got to agree. I'm just keeping it 100 with you. You know what I'm saying? Some fights I do be interested in, like the Marlon Esparza fight. I did check that one out. You know what I'm saying? When she went out there and fought that Alanis or something like that, that tough. I think she from Argentina. I might be wrong. I think she from Argentina though. I know that she went out there and gave Esparza hell, and Esparza one of my favorite women's fighters. You know what I'm saying? Who else fought on that card?
I know you was up for that Cameron and McCaskill fight.
Yeah, I was up for that one. I like McCaskill, man. She a dog in the fight. in the fight game, even though she went out there and got dissected. Chantel Cameron had that power for a motherfucking ass too, along with the skills. I don't think McCaskill was quite used to that. Somebody that got great skills and she putting hard shots on the motherfucking ass.
Yeah, and I still ain't figured out what was going on with her leg. I don't know if it was from a shot or what, but her leg was like her leg was heavy in that fight or something. I don't know if you remember that. Something was going on with one of her legs in that fight. I never heard anything.
It did seem like she had some drop foot in that motherfucker or something, you know. Square business. I can't remember who else fought on that card though, man. I know Connor Wallace. He fought. It was Southpaw on Southpaw. He got a first round.
Yeah, he fought a dude named Matt Sheehan.
Yeah, Meehan or something, wasn't it? It was something like that. Yeah, he went out there and got a KO one Southpaw on Southpaw fight. So I wasn't too surprised to see him do that, even though he kind of came off a little layoff a little bit in comparison to his opponent. Shit, I can't remember all the fights on that card. Big Boys Boxing said, I don't think it will be easy for either guy, but what the fuck do I know? Oh, yeah, I'm right there with you, man. We can't do nothing but watch these fights, man. That's all it is. Like Rummy's Corner say, shit, I ain't no Quasimodo. Shit, I don't know what the fuck they gonna do. We gonna see. Joseph Brown said, nigga looked like he was wearing a bonnet. Yeah, he talking about the ugly motherfucker that was posting that clip about Earl Spence being slow and flat-footed. Like he's some kind of boxing guru or some shit that he just breaking down tape like he fucking Teddy Atlas or some goddamn body. Hyphy said, if a channel only talks about Terrence and Earl, I don't listen to their breakdowns because the boxing knowledge is casual level. Yeah, that's square business, man. You got to have a diverse knowledge of the sport and shit, man. That's something that we pride ourselves on. I know they had a debate about Crawford and Spence and shit today, but overall, we like to mix it up. D-Lo, okay, Big Boys Boxer said the ones back in Bud are criticizing Spence and vice versa. This is what happens when it takes 4 years to make a huge fight. I mean, I think it would have been like that regardless, though. I mean, they didn't have more time to tear each other down, but when you got half the people picking one and half the people picking the other, it's gonna be some banter going back and forth. I don't think that's out of the ordinary. You know what I'm saying?
It didn't take 4 years for that to start. It just culminated over time. But yeah, I mean, soon as it became apparent that these two guys were rivals, that stuff started. So you're right. If it had happened 4 years ago, we'd have had the build up would have been a lot of what we got right now. You know what I'm saying? It just would have been, you know what I'm saying, would have happened sooner. That's all.
Okay, Victor Lee said, anybody peep how skinny Fulton legs are? I feel like he's going to take one shot and it would be lights out. Now, the evidence does not support that, but you starting to sound like a man fan. That's what you starting to sound like. You just talking about one fighter, man. We talk about boxing over here. It ain't just about one fight or one fighter. You know what I'm saying? You sound like a man fan over there now. El said, stepped away for a second. Say salute to Derek Bailey and Judge O'Brien. Hyphy said, fighters are great liars. Kurt Sugar. Yep, I remember when he used to say that shit too. And Bud Crawford, I can't say he a great liar because I be sitting up there, I be peeping all that shit. I be like, man, what the fuck this dude talking about, man? But you know, it is what it is. Judge O'Brien said, you can't let the hold on, what did Victor Lee say? Inoue posted his new image. I skipped a few comments, huh? Hyphy said every entertainer, artist, or athlete will tell you they're at their best when they're having fun. And then Victor Lee said Inoue posted his new image on Twitter. He looks shredded like the Japanese Bruce Lee. He is going to hurt somebody. That's a man fan, ain't it, man? That man then dropped a dozen comments off in the chat. And he talking about one man the whole time. What you trying to do? You trying to convince me to agree with you? Does it bother you? Does it hurt your feelings that I don't agree with you and I got my own mind? Because I don't mind you picking whoever you gonna pick. But see, look, this is one thing about it. I'm not hard to find. If I'm wrong, I'll be here eating my crow. Can we say the same thing about you? If your fighter go out there and lose, can we count on you to come eat some crow? I really doubt it, to be honest with you. Just looking at your personality, looking at your temperament and shit, being a man fan, I think you're the type of person that's gonna run for the hills if your fighter loses. And guess what? There's more fights besides this one. So let's say you get this one right. Why don't you come back in the future and predict some more fights and let's see if you eat your crow, because you ain't gonna get them all right. As a matter of fact, we got a prediction league.
Join the league.
We got a prediction league. We predict 10, 15, sometimes 20 fights per week, every week. And it's on Facebook. If you are interested in getting in the league, just let me know. and I will personally get your picks in the league. And let's see, let's test those theories that you got. That's what I say. Let's test them theories. Uh,
Hey, and the thing about it is, they ain't all just fights in one region. It fights in Australia, Japan, China, all over the U.S., all over Europe. So if you just heavy on one region, you're gonna get lost in the sauce when it comes to making them picks. If you don't want to do the research or do some digging on who these fighters are, but jump in the league.
Absolutely. Joseph Brown said you can't let the under bitch talk you out of putting work in. I'll work out even with 2 hours of sleep someday. I mean, I agree with working hard and shit, man. But sometimes you gotta listen to your body too, man. Your body will let you know when you starting to overtrain. That overtraining shit is a real thing. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes when you just don't have the motivation or the want to go, it's your body telling you, like, man, I need a little rest. It ain't like Crawford 25, that motherfucker 35. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Because sometimes I have them days too. I be like, man, I might need to. Matter of fact, I've been like working out hard again for like 2 months. And this past weekend, I had got me a day where I just didn't do anything. And most of the time, I can't do that shit because I feel so guilty. But I got me one good rest day in, and that shit worked good for me. Shit, I feel fresh as a goddamn daisy now. Got it in today. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you gotta listen to your body. Big Boys Boxing said nothing is happening outside the ring matters anymore. The fight is made, so let's see what happens in the square circle. Absolutely, I agree with you on that. Big Boys Boxing said Shaw versus Goodall and Sands versus Ohio might be good fights on the Cambosis versus Hughes card. Okay, what Shaw is he talking about? I know he ain't talking about. The only Shaw I know is Stephan Shaw, whatever the fuck his name is, the dude that went out there and took the loss to FL Jabba. I know that Big Boys Boxing is big on heavyweight boxing, so he might be talking about that Shaw. And the Ohio, that sounds familiar to me too. Is that the one that he got a brother or something? I might be wrong, but I know it's in Ohio. They got an amateur background that I had peeped a little while back. That might be who he talking about. If
Yeah,
he
I
tell
think.
me, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I think I seen a promo or some kind of little thing popped up on YouTube saying something about Stephen Shaw was about to return. It was somewhere, so he got a fight coming up soon. I don't know if it's that's who he's talking about or not, but I know he got a fight coming up either this week, next week, or sometime in the next 2 weeks.
Okay. Hyphy say Trey is correct. She was undefeated Argentinian champion. Yeah, she was fighting like a motherfucker. I can't even count. Sparza got that cut on her and shit like that. It was a hard fight for her, man. She might not deserve to win, but I like Marlon and Sparza, so I wasn't just upset. And plus, I picked majority decision on the Champ Raw, so I wasn't gonna complain about them bonus points. You know what I'm saying? Joseph Brown said that's him. Stephen Shaw, I think that's how you say his name. Might be Steven Shaw. Big Boys Boxing say, yeah, Stephen Shaw and Hemi Ohio, who lost to Django Pelu last fight. Okay, I think I was thinking about somebody else. I might have to see him, man. That Hemi Ohio, that shit do sound very familiar to me, though. Yeah, that sounds very familiar to me. Big Boys Boxing said Armand Sands versus Hemi Ohio and Stephen Shaw versus Joseph Goodall. Okay, that's what's up. I can't say I know anything about Armand Sands, but like I said, Big Boys Boxing is one of the masters of the heavyweight division. He a specialist. Him along with Mr. Boxing today, those are the specialists when it comes to the heavyweight division. So if you want to get your heavyweight game on, subscribe to Big Boys Boxing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think Mr. Boxing today had took a little break. I don't know if he done came back or not. You been seeing him out there?
Yeah. He just came back. He been posting like a motherfucker.
Okay, yeah, I need to get back on board then because I guess I stopped getting notifications because they had been so long. I'm gonna have to get over there and check him out then. That who used to keep me up on it.
Yeah, he been posting, man. He been dropping like 2-3 posts a day. It seemed like, you know what I'm saying. He done came back strong. Um, Victor Lee said, I thought this the topic of this chat was Fulton versus Inoue, but okay, I have other predictions. Big Bang will beat the brakes off Joe Joyce again. It'd be kind of hard to predict them fucking rematches, man. I'm not mad at you for making that pick. I was excited about that fight because I had two motherfuckers that was 4.5s on my scales. They going out there winning silver at the AIBA World Championships and Olympics and all that kind of shit. I was very excited about that fight. I know that Joe Joyce ain't hard to hit. It seemed like he was out there. He could land a few punches on Zane, but whenever Zane would land that left hand, it was just problems. It seemed like Joyce just couldn't get out the way of that goddamn left hand.
George looked like Dubois did against him.
Joyce, oh yeah. Well, I guess you could say left hand because Joyce was landing that jab on Dubois. He beat Joyce with not Joyce, but he beat Dubois with one punch. He went out there and just jabbed the man to death until his eye just couldn't take no more. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But yeah, you're right about that because both of them got fucked up eyes in that fight, huh?
Yeah, it's like that. It's like that dude glove was a piece of iron and they had a magnet on their eye.
Yeah, man, this dude might be right, man. Big Bang Zane might go out there and get him again.
That's what I'm leaning. I'm definitely where I'm going. That fight is about a month away, though, ain't it? That ain't coming up right now, is it?
Yeah, he got a little time for that one. Okay. Salute to my boy Joseph Brown because he went out there and put some money on Big Bang Zane. I was kind of scared of the fight, so I stayed away from it. They had Zane as a major underdog, though. It seemed like he was like a plus 1,200 or something like that off in that fight. Went out there and got that money. Got the stoppage, too. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, I suck at rematches, man. I think I'm going to go ahead and lock in with Victor Lee one time and take Big Bang Zane.
Hey, you was caught up in the chat?
I'm almost cut. Are you ready to shut it down?
Yeah, man. I got to get up. I got to eat.
All right, I'm going to finish this shit and we're going to go and get up out of here. Big Boys Boxing said, yeah, Mr. Boxing is back for the heavyweight season. Absolutely. Then he said, careful. If Joyce gets past 6 without too much damage, he will stop Zane. Another one. Can he get that far without damage? I don't know about stopping Zane, though. I have seen Zane deep in fights with people that was punching back. So I'm not sure because I think I've seen Zane in the ring with people that hit harder than Joe. I was thinking about Ergovich. Yeah, Ergovich was hitting hard. Even the southpaw that got stopped by Big Baby Anderson, shit, he was fighting back too. What's his name? That southpaw that got stopped by Big Baby, Jared Anderson. He got stopped in like 1 or 2 rounds or something like that. He tough as a motherfucker. He got dropped like 3 times against Zhang, and then he worked his way back into the fight.
You talking about Forrest?
Yeah, that motherfucker will fight back. Shit, he was landing punches, and Zhang was taking them hoes. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I don't know about Zhang getting stopped by Joe Joyce, man. I think I've seen enough toughness from Zhang to think he'll go the distance if he lose. Victor Lee said Zhang was good at parrying Joyce's jab. Yeah, and plus it was a southpaw versus an orthodox fighter. You know what I'm saying? When you got that southpaw, it's a little harder to land your jab on the southpaw. You know what I'm saying? That's why I always bring up this example of when Terrence Crawford, when he fought against Victor Postal, who had a great jab, Terrence Crawford turned southpaw, and that was part of him taking the jab away from Victor Postal. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't surprised that Zhang couldn't really land his jab on Zhang like he wanted to. He going against that southpaw and shit. But yeah, you're right. He was parrying the jab and shit from the southpaw stance. Joseph Brown said, I still believe if Joyce got past round 6, he would have won the fight. I mean, he was he got a higher punch output than somebody like Zhang. You know what I'm saying? So I could see him winning the decision, but I don't see him stopping him though. Big Boys Boxing.
Now I was just gonna say Zhang's punch output was starting to taper down with every pass around. He just happened to get him on out of there.
That's why I didn't take him on the Champ Ross, because I just felt like he was slow down in the second half of the fight. And I thought Joyce was going to be able to do his thing. You know what I'm saying? I thought he was going to beat him by decision. But we ain't get a chance to make it that far to see. Big Boys Box said, problem is Joyce too old to learn to move his head. Shit, both the motherfuckers old. Yeah, Jared Forrest, I see. The cane of the building was going down. Said Joe better spend his whole camp dodging left hands. Yeah, you're going to have to do something about that southpaw stance, man. He need him a whole bunch of hard-hitting southpaws in the gym if he can find some. But we done caught up in the chat, man. Marlo say you want to shut this shit down. We've been on for over 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? 2 hours and 10 minutes. Definitely would appreciate y'all coming through. Uh, Hardline Boxing Talk told me that I had permission to use the questions that he had ran his trivia on. So I'm gonna try to copy them hoes down and run the trivia on this channel. You know what I'm saying? Got some respect from the historian and shit. Appreciate everybody coming through. We definitely gonna call a frog out of well on that Spence versus Crawford fight. Y'all ain't even got to worry about that. So y'all come through and check it out with us. We ain't gonna have no links or none of that shit. Y'all motherfuckers buy the fight and support the fight. You know what I'm saying? And shit, I'm gonna try to get up and watch that Cool Boy Stealth fight. That shit in Japan, so it's probably gonna be at a crazy ass time, but I'm gonna try to be on it. Set y'all clocks if y'all able to watch that shit. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna talk y'all to death, man. Definitely appreciate y'all coming through, man. What you last words, D-Lo?
I just appreciate y'all having me on, man. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? Y'all continue to support the support, you know what I'm saying, these channels that come out here and put in this hard work, primarily this channel right here, MZ, you know, my channel when I'm active, and you know what I'm saying, y'all just come in and have a good time, enjoy the content. Let's, you know, do it like we did it tonight. You know what I'm saying? None of that nonsense in the chat, everybody being respectful, big up in the sport. You know what I'm saying? And let's all tune in and watch this big fight, July 29th. And if you pick the wrong guy, come eat your crow. Don't disappear, and keep it respectful.
But see, you already know, man. It's always love, always your opinion, always respected over here, man. Appreciate all the love, all the support, man. Shout out to the channel member. Most definitely gonna be back. Shit, we got the word. We're gonna be back on fight night on the 29th. So most definitely looking forward to that, man. So y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night. Till next time, don't forget to tell them haters and trolls, the fuck out my gym.
You heard him.
Hey.
Yeah.